Welcome to one of the most beautiful settings in college football, Lavelle Edwards Stadium at the foot of the Wasatch Mountains in Provo, Utah, where BYU takes on number 24 USC. The Cougars looking to knock off another Power 5 foe after dispensing of Tennessee and come from behind fashion in Knoxville next week. Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, and Tom Luganville with you. It will not be an easy task, though, for BYU because USC, Greg, is coming off one of its best offensive performances in years. They look to repeat it today with a true freshman quarterback at the helm.
Kedon Slovis last week didn't look like his first college start. He was so in control throughout the course of the entire game and really finished on a high note. He completed his last 10 passes against the Cardinal. Very accurate with the football. Got the ball out of his hands quickly. And I know he's a freshman, but he's clearly very comfortable in new offensive coordinator Graham Harrell's system, this new air raid attack that they're trying to unleash out of Los Angeles.
5 years for Clay Helton, 4 full seasons, 2 interim stints. Turned over the offense to Graham Harrell in the offseason. Kalani Sitake with that win last week. Got above 500, the former fullback for the Cougars, and his 4th year as the head coach here in Provo. BYU won the toss and deferred, so USC will get the ball first. Velus Jones, who in week 1 had a kick return for a touchdown, is the deep man. Skylar Southam to kick it deep. Returnable for Jones from his 4-yard line. And he's out to about the 26. Second start for true freshman Kedon Slovis at quarterback after JT Daniels was injured in the opener. Kurt Warner was Slovis's high school offensive coordinator. Then Slovis last week became the 5th true freshman quarterback to start for SC. And in that game he was outstanding. In fact, he set a passing record for his first career start as a true freshman, 83% completion percentage. Graduated high school early, enrolled at USC in the spring. And Slovis to the air on first down, a long pass to Pittman. And Pittman is brought down after a gain of 9 in the play.
And Kedon Slovis, he wasn't real highly recruited, but I think people caught on to him late in the process. He's very accurate, gets the ball out of his hands quickly, and has been extremely well coached. You mentioned Kurt Warner. I mean, he's worked with him, and it shows. He gets the ball out of his hands, he anticipates, and you can see part of Kurt Warner's game kind of translating to Kedon Slovis with the way he anticipates throws and is really accurate on the underneath passing attack.
And Greg, I'll tell you, one of the things that stood out to me is this guy beat out 2 upperclassmen to earn the number 2 spot. His work ethic and his knowledge of the game for such a young player is what catapulted him to this moment right here.
Keenan Peely was the injured Cougar, and Peyton Wilgar checks in for him after a 9-yard gain for USC on the first play from scrimmage. Another pass play here. Slovis setting up, and another on-target throw for a first down to Vaughns. Stacked up in midfield. It's a 16-yard pickup and a first down.
And Kedon Slovis is fearless. He didn't play on a great high school team, so he's used to taking some hits. He delivers the ball accurately in the window under duress. And this is the type of throw that he made look so routine, but that's a difficult throw to anticipate in a window early in the ball game.
Leads the country in completion percentage coming in. He's going to hand it off here to Malapei. Turns it upfield and gets to the 45-yard line. 5-yard pickup for Vavae Malapei, who's got 3 rushing touchdowns already this year.
He's a difference maker. And you always thought that Stephen Carr, the guy who's the other head in this 2-headed rushing attack, you always thought he would be the go-to guy. But Malapei has certainly shown a level of comfort within this offense that Graham Harrell really likes to see out of his running back.
Off play action, Slovis pass, batted down at the line of scrimmage. Tonga got a hand up for BYU. It's 3rd down.
And you're going to see Tonga just right in the middle because of this offense's quick strike attack. it's highly unlikely that BYU is going to be able to consistently rush the passer. So what do? As a defensive lineman, you throw your hands up and you try to deflect as many passes as possible. Expect to see that a lot from the Cougars defense today.
That ends a stretch of 12 consecutive completions for Slovis going back to the Stanford game. Looks to get another streak going here as he swings it up for a first down to Malapaya. Made that first guy miss. Malik Moore eventually got him down, but it's a 10-yard pickup.
Tell you, Greg, that's where these backs can be so dangerous, and it was a fear for BYU on defense. They can't get caught in space, and if they do, they have to make the tackle. That's what makes these backs special. They're not just runners, they're playmakers on the perimeter.
Yeah, you get to your best ball carrier in space, the chances of him making a guy miss, very, very high.
They keep it on the ground here. Malapaya and a ton of running room as that offensive line leaning on BYU early on. It's a gain of 6 on the play. That line is led by left tackle Austin Jackson, who's just getting back to 100% after donating bone marrow to a sister who has a rare form of anemia. We'll get into that a little bit more later, but it's a young group for the most part up front. We do have a grad transfer at right tackle in Drew Richmond from Tennessee. The 3 sophomores in the starting 5. Play fake here. Slovis setting up. And Pittman able to make the catch. A first down to the 20-yard line.
It's just so impressive to watch Kedon Slovis get through his progressions. I mean, he just goes 1 to 2 to 3. Doesn't waste time. Doesn't hang on guys down the field. It's amazing also to watch these wide receivers uncover as consistently as they've had throughout the first couple games of the season. This offense, I know it's new, and Graham Harrell taking on a big job, but man, they are certainly in sync early in the season.
Another pass play. Slovis long throw, a diving attempt, and it's a catch for Vaughns right at the first down marker. Keep in mind this BYU defense has only given up 140 passing yards a game.
Great effort by Vaughns on the speed out. Good anticipation. Low and away. An excellent catch by the redshirt junior.
Looks like that should have been a first down, too, based on where he landed when he had possession, but it's 2nd and 1.
And short yardage, usually expect USC to hand it off in a situation like this.
They will with Carr with the tight end blocking, and it's a first down. Got that rather easily. 1st and goal for USC, and a very impressive opening drive for the Trojans.
Greg, this offensive line has been a much maligned group over the last couple of years, but I believe it's Graham Harrell's scheme that by spreading people thin horizontally, it's helped open up this running game in ways that they didn't have access to before, and I think it's taken some pressure off the offensive line because they can use those backs now in space.
10th play of this drive, Tom. 1st and goal on the 7. Slovis with time and wide open in the end zone is Pittman. Touchdown. The Trojans make it look easy through the air on that opening drive. Ten-play, 74-yard drive where you had really only one negative play, and that was the batted ball at the line of scrimmage by Kairos Tonga. Chase McGrath on for the point after. And it's good. It's interesting. One official signaled that it was good. The other didn't, but it's 7-0 USC. Let's take a look again here at the extra point by Chase McGrath. Well, I wonder if that got tipped there at the line, and yeah, it does sneak inside that left upright.
Very close on the extra point after what was a beautiful opening drive for this USC offense. Kedon Slovis picking up right where he left off, very in rhythm. Clearly feeling what Graham Harrell is calling in the passing game, but it's just so simple. I mean, this is just a very simple slant flat combination that puts stress on this defender. And if you see that defender widen and come up at all on the swing route, It's a gigantic window to throw to your big 6'4" wide receiver in Michael Pittman. It's just pitch and catch, so in rhythm, and just so simple for the quarterback to execute.
Only one incompletion on that drive. That was the batted ball. So you go back to the end of the Stanford game, and this kid is rolling. Stadhouse kicking it deep. This will be a touchback, and BYU will start on its 25-yard line. Well, last year, Zach Wilson started as a true freshman for BYU. So the 19-year-old started the first 2 games of the season. And the first game of the year was against the team he grew up rooting for, Utah. He played his high school ball about 20 miles south of Salt Lake City at Corner Canyon High School in Draper, Utah. He's the youngest quarterback to start a game in BYU history. Last year, 19 years, 2 months old, and a win against Hawaii in October. Threw 2 pick sixes in the first game against Utah, but got hot down the stretch against Tennessee. They'll run the ball here and get a first down with Tyson Williams, who had the game-winning touchdown in double overtime in Knoxville a week ago.
Zach Wilson, if you never watched him, his game might resemble Johnny Manziel a little bit. I mean, he's quick, very good in tight spaces, accurate, and really savvy. Has a good feel for the position, has delivered on some big moments early in the season.
He'll throw here, taking a shot, got a receiver, but he overthrew him. Micah Simon, who had the 64-yard miracle reception to set up the game-tying field goal in regulation last week, was the intended receiver.
And Micah Simon has really emerged these last couple weeks. Just a straight-up go route, a 9 route early in the game, but clearly the adrenaline for Zach Wilson rolling a little bit as he overthrows his speedy wide receiver. It's not uncommon to see deep balls overthrown early in the game because you're all fired up at quarterback.
They fake that jet sweep. Wilson keeps it. What a juke on the defensive lineman, Drake Jackson. They eventually get Wilson out of bounds. He doesn't like getting shoved there by Polamalu, so he pushes back.
This is the short area quickness that you love to see, but how about the end of the play? I mean, this kid is a competitor. You talk to the coaching staff, the first word that comes out of their mouth when they describe the way Zach Wilson approaches the game is he's competitive, man. Showing it early with the short area quickness and the nice run.
Now they got a 3rd and 3 here. And Wilson able to find a running lane, but he is brought down short of the line to gain. Tried to make Naote at the end miss, and maybe just could have gone straight ahead and gotten the first down. It's 4th and 1, and looks like BYU will punt.
Well, Zach Smith doing a nice job of taking what the defense gives him there, because SC is coming out playing man defense, and there's nobody to account for the quarterback. So continue to use your legs if you're BYU.
Yeah, just understand how far you need for the first down, because I'm with you, Dave. I think if he goes north and south vertical as opposed to trying to bounce it to the outside, the Cougars are likely looking at a 1st and 10.
Jake Oldroyd, who handles all the punting and kicking duties, boots it away. SC got close to it, over the head of Bonds and into the end zone for a touchback. So BYU able to move the ball a little bit, getting a first down, but then the drive stalled at midfield. We'll see if the defense for BYU plays a little bit better on this drive. Slovis, as you guys mentioned, just pitch and catch on that opening drive. BYU's given up 16 points defensively in each of the last 2 games, and already 7 here early on.
Graham Harrell, the whole approach to this offense is to find grass. Just find open space. The way you do that is you spread the defense out as wide as humanly possible. And the grass can be anywhere. It might be at the 2nd level. It might be deep. Just find open space. And they've done a great job of doing that over the last couple weeks. But when you look at this BYU defense, the space is underneath. It's going to be a quick passing game, I would assume, throughout the course of the game.
Slovis to the air, gets hit, and taken down for a sack by Tonga. So Tonga with a batted ball at the line of scrimmage on the first drive and a sack on drive number 2.
Just a big old bull rush by Tonga. You can see him here. He's engaged with Jalen McKenzie, the right guard, and he just walks him right back into Kevin Slovis's lap. Tough spot for a quarterback when your right guard is engaged and you're getting tackled.
So BYU gets SC a little bit off schedule here. And then St. Brown out in space, knocked out of bounds near the 20-yard line. So close to the original line of scrimmage, but it's going to be 3rd down and long for USC.
And this is what BYU has to do defensively. They have to disrupt the rhythm. They have to get USC off schedule, 3rd and longs. Because if SC is taking 5- and 6-yard gains at a time, it's going to be really tough for BYU to get off the field. So disrupting the rhythm of the offense is imperative for the Cougars.
All kinds of movement. BYU definitely jumped into the neutral zone. The question is, did they get back? You saw the right tackle, Drew Richmond, come out of his stance. It should be on BYU.
Offside, number 93. Defense in the neutral zone, causing a false start by the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's a big penalty there. El Bakri in 3rd and 12. Now it's 3rd and 7. From the USC 23-yard line. Slovis gets rid of it quickly, and it's juggled, and Wilgar picks it off.
What an amazing effort with the full extension there by Wilgar. Slovis's eyes takes him right to it. An incredible diving play.
I mean, that's a linebacker.
That's amazing.
Laying out for that. They may review it further to see if he possessed it or if it hit the ground.
Play is under further review.
Yep, so they will look at it further, but boy, it looked like he got it. That Big 12 crew, Jeff Hansen is the replay official. That would be the 2nd interception for Slovis this season. Boy, did BYU need that, the way SC's offenses looked here early on.
Well, if you remember a week ago, if you saw USC, they threw so much short game, as Greg referenced earlier, and they threw so many inside hitch routes, just a little 6-yard hitch. I think BYU's done a great job of reading routes, reading quarterback drop, and then triggering with angles. And that's what that play was made with a great angle.
I mean, this was all Wilgar. Slovis saw some open space, but that open space closed quickly as Wilgar flew out underneath. The little spacing concept to the number 2. Really, really great eyes by the linebacker, and a moment that Keaton Slovis in his young career would love to have back, bypassing an open receiver on the inside and going straight to where the interception occurred.
Taking a long time to look at this one here, but I didn't see anything visually that would tell you that they got the call wrong on the field.
Yeah, it looked clean to me. Obviously, you need to see the catch secured, but it looked secure from the angles that we had, and I didn't see any movement. Of course, it has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn beyond all doubt.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Interception, BYU, 1st down.
That gets this crowd going. BYU looks to take advantage of the turnover deep in SC territory on the 28-yard line. Zach Wilson, the true sophomore quarterback, going to hand it off. Here comes a fake reverse, and keeping it is Williams to the 5. Dives for the end zone. He hit the pylon, but he stepped out of bounds. But still a beautiful fake by Williams on the reverse with Hefo coming right behind him.
Really, really nice play right here.
The runner was out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Hefo ran the other direction, which left nothing but wide open space for Tyson Williams. Excellent job taking advantage of the aggressiveness that you see from USC's defense and the man coverage early on.
Definitely stepped out of the 2. Here's Williams again, and he gets stacked up, pushing towards the goal line. This is how they won the game against Tennessee, when the offensive line came in and helped Williams, pushing him in the end zone. But they rule forward. Progress stopped at the 1. Tyson Williams with 3 touchdowns on the season. The coaches told us they really got a sense of what kind of player he is last week. He's a grad transfer from South Carolina, but didn't get a lot of reps week 1. He was very active last week. We'll see if they give it to him again here on 2nd and goal. They will. He dives for the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, BYU. Oh boy, that knee was down right there, and he looked short.
Yeah, you see that knee. That knee down right there. And there's the ball. There's the tip of the ball. It looks like it's just short of the end zone. So they're going to look at this.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. Previous play is under further review.
Yeah, I don't think he got in. That would make it 3rd and goal from inside the 1.
Those initial looks definitely make you think he was short.
Welcome to one of the most beautiful settings in college football, Lavelle Edwards Stadium at the foot of the Wasatch Mountains in Provo, Utah, where BYU has just scored a touchdown to tie the game, but based on what we saw visually, it appeared that the running back Tyson Williams was short of the end zone, so they are reviewing it right now. With Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville, I'm Dave Pash. USC scored easily on its opening drive as true freshman quarterback Keaton Slovis, who burst onto the college football scene last week with one of the most impressive performances in USC history, not just from a true freshman, from any quarterback, carved up Stanford, but he threw an interception on the last drive inside his own 30, and BYU just capitalized with a touchdown for now. BYU won at Tennessee last week, and just a crazy finish to regulation. Ended up winning in double overtime. There's Kalani Sitake on the right side of your screen, the head coach for BYU.
After review, the runner's left knee was down with the ball at the half-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and goal, BYU.
They've given it to Tyson Williams on consecutive plays down here on the goal line. Doesn't have his helmet right now, so we'll see what the Cougars do here on 3rd down. Do you do it again, Greg? Do you just try to power that defensive line off the ball, or do you trick it up here?
No, I think knowing that their offensive coordinator, Jeff Grimes, offensive line coach, their head coach, Kalani Sitake, fullback. I think they're going to run the football. They're likely to pound it up inside, and probably 2 downs to get it.
Well, look, I mean, they got 3 defensive linemen in there as well. They pitch it, and it's a touchdown for BYU. It ends up being Tyson. Actually, that's the other number 5. That's Skowoliku, a cornerback who is in there at running back getting the touchdown. Williams is on the sideline. They bring in the other number 5 and hand it to him. Well, they have all these defensive linemen, and they're blocking. So they did trick it up, but it was still a run play straight ahead. Oldroyd puts it through. We are tied at 7 midway through the first in Provo. '18-year-old true freshman quarterback Keaton Slovis making his first road start, throwing dimes on that opening drive. Hits Michael Pittman for a touchdown. A 10-play, 5-minute drive. But then on the next possession, Peyton Wilger with a diving interception. That's a linebacker making that play. And then BYU pays it off. You've got a wide receiver under center, Luke Andrada, taking the snap and pitching it to a corner. Dayan Gowoliku running behind the defensive lineman, Kairos Tonga, for a touchdown. That ties the game at 7. We talked with Slovis yesterday and asked him what he expects from this environment. He says, I don't know. I have no idea. I've never played on the road. From Desert Mountain High School in Phoenix. They didn't have a great record there. It'll be Carr on the return for SC. There's a penalty marker down. His car is wrapped up on the 22-yard line. Going to be on the Trojan, so this will back him up even more. SC beat Fresno State week 1, an impressive showing against Stanford week 2 to get into the rankings this week at number 24.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, return team, illegal wedge formation. 25 and 26, penalized half the distance from the end of the run. First down, USC.
Clay Helton, the head coach for the Trojans, doesn't like the call. We'll see how the true freshman quarterback handles adversity next.
College football on ABC is brought to you by Audi and Allstate and the Allstate AFCA Good Works team, recognizing athletes for their charitable work. Visit ESPN.com/Allstate to learn more.
Now, with that being said, I think I broke my ankle. I can't even feel it right now. But I'm ready to do the stanky leg we get.
That was last week. Kalani Sitake celebrating after turning his ankle, trying to call for them to spike the ball late after a miracle play to set up a game-tying field goal. They won in double OT in Knoxville. Now SC comes back with a run play to Malapei, and he's tripped up by Fanua after a 2-yard gain. Keaton Slovis, Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer, was his offensive coordinator at Desert Mountain High School in Scottsdale. Last week, Slovis became the 5th true freshman quarterback to even start a game for USC, and boy was he great. He leads the country in completion percentage coming into today because of that record-setting effort against Stanford. But he does have the interception, which just led to the BYU touchdown a moment ago. Here he's got 2nd and 8. Got a ton of time, and Pittman comes free, making the catch at the 20-yard line, close to the first down.
And what impresses you so much about Keaton Slovis is just his comfort level within the offense. He never panics. You never see his feet get out of rhythm. He's very accurate on the underneath throws, and when he does unleash a deep ball, he's been on target. It's been so impressive to watch him really grow over the last 6 quarters, and he's been good with the exception of one bad decision here early today.
Off play action, Slovis over the middle, another interception, and it's another linebacker. It's Kafusi picking this one off, and he takes it back to the 26-yard line. Back-to-back picks by Slovis.
Watch Kafusi, who's just going to read eyes. I mean, look at his eyes in the back. Watching, feeling. He's got to come back to the outside that he knows Slovis is not going to. So he just slides right underneath the ball being thrown over the middle. That's 2 interceptions now for Keaton Slovis, all because he led defenders right to where he was throwing the football. It's a great start for BYU's defense, giving their offense the short field in each of the last 2 drives.
Here comes another trick play. Jaron Hall, the backup quarterback, hits the starting quarterback, Zach Wilson, and it's 1st and goal.
Just a little reverse play, but you're going to see the starting quarterback, Zach Wilson, just going to slowly work his way out on the quarterback wheel, and a really nice throw by Jaron Hall. Love the start so far for BYU's offense. Offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes throwing reverses at him, all kinds of stuff early.
And this is a quarterback draw. Wilson gets back to the line of scrimmage before Naute Ote makes the stop for USC. Let's see how Clancy Pendergast defense responds here, having the short field in consecutive possessions. Can they hold BYU to 3?
Well, Greg, Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator, in pregame warm-up, he told me, he goes, I think our guys feel good. I think we feel loose, and I'm going to turn them loose today because I feel really good about our plan. I think our kids are going to execute it. Field position doesn't hurt either.
They've been really tough to predict so far with reverses and inside zones, all kinds of stuff.
And here's a jet sweep to Hefo. SC not fooled. Hefo, though, able to break an initial tackle. He gets pushed back around the 5. So it'll be 3rd down and goal from there.
Big opportunity here for USC. After the big play on 1st down, to hold BYU to a field goal would be enormous. If I'm Zach Wilson, in this part of the field, always thinking about where do I find the best matchup. The best matchup, if SC is in man coverage, which they've been a majority of the night tonight, is with Matt Bushman, number 89, their tight end.
It's a rollout to the left and a throw to the end zone. High, intended for Dax Milne. He's only got 2 catches on the year, and he could not come down with it. It's 4th down.
Moving the pocket and capturing the edge, trying to create an isolated situation for Milne on the front pylon comeback. Ball just a little bit high for the receiver to bring it down, but a good design and good execution. Just need to be a little more accurate on the throw, and you got 6.
Oldroyd hasn't missed yet this year. 3 of 3 last week, 2 of 2 against Utah. 23-yard try here. It's good. And so the Cougars take the lead late in the 1st quarter. Bad memories for Clemson the last time they played at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. They lost 2 years ago. Syracuse didn't look so good last week, though, against Maryland. And Clemson has a much better quarterback this time around. We'll see what happens tonight on ABC, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. It's also the last time Clemson lost in the regular season back in 2017 on a Friday night game. 150 years of college football celebrated here at BYU. Incredible history. A national championship 35 years ago. Our colleague Trevor Manich, a part of that team. Bayless Jones and Stephen Carr are deep for USC. 10 points off 2 straight turnovers by the Trojans. And Carr elects to return it. And that was a poor choice. Brought down at the 12-yard line. We were just going to talk about what Keaton Slovis is facing, given that he's thrown interceptions in back-to-back plays. Now he's got to start at his own 12-yard line again because of a mistake on special teams.
Yeah, he's got to be smarter with the football. He's got to be better with his eyes. So far, he has taken BYU defenders exactly to where he's throwing the football. He's not trusting his progressions. I think he's also predetermined a couple throws, especially the first interception where he passed up an open receiver on the inside. It's all part of the maturity process. He was so good last week. Now he's battling a little bit, not seeing the field quite as clean. Let's see if he can get back on track, get back to his accurate ways.
Yeah, we've got a timeout here by USC. Play
Timeout
clock was winding
USC,
down.
First of the half, 30 seconds in length.
Trojans a mess right now.
ESPN celebrating 150 years of college football.
Third meeting between USC and BYU. The last 2 came when the Trojans won FBS championships in 2003 and 2004. Last time they were here, USC, they were ranked number 1 and they won at BYU 42-10, but that was 15 years ago. Where you had a veteran quarterback then in Matt Leinart. You have a true freshman, Keaton Slovis, making his first road start. And this possession starts on the 13-yard line. Malapaya gets the carry and doesn't get anything. Checking now with a third member of our crew, Tom Luganbill.
Well, guys, just watching Keaton Slovis on the sideline right there. His teammates, he's very calm, very poised. I think with young quarterbacks, you got to manage their emotions. His teammates, both offensively and defensively, along with Clay Helton, just coming up and saying, hey, we got this. Throw it to our football team. Now, they're backed up. They've got the student section right here, and it is gnarly down here right now. Bad field position and turnovers, not the way you want to start out a road game.
Slovis's pass here on the money to Pittman out near the 20-yard line. Had a chance to speak with Slovis's high school coach Kurt Warner at length this week, and one of the things he said that he loves about Slovis is his ability to bounce back. He doesn't get too upset when he makes a mistake, just brushes it off and goes on to the next series.
Yeah, that's the sign of a true champion at quarterback, a guy that stays level with his emotions throughout. It's a good bounce back on that throw, the out route to the left, very accurate. Best throw he's made since the first drive of the game.
On 3rd and 3, Slovis now forced out of the pocket and dumps it off for a first down to Malapei. A missed tackle allows Malapei to get some extra yardage out of bounds at the 30 for an 11-yard pickup.
It's a great job by Slovis. Extending the play, nothing there initially. Extending the play, keep your eyes downfield, stay in a passing posture, and deliver it accurately to your running back for the first down. Very under control. Those are the plays that we expect from a guy that's played wise beyond his years through the first 2 games of his career.
Straight ahead, Malapei gets stacked up. Boy, and that first drive, it just looked like USC was cutting through that BYU defense easily, but the Cougars have been much more physical of late, and that was a pickup of about 3.
Well, and on the perimeter, too, BYU's gotten a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. There was some more cushion in their coverage in that first drive, allowing for some easy take what the defense gives you throws.
Pass play here on 2nd down and long. Slovis leaving the pocket again, and he's got Croman-Hook, the tight end, wide open. Inside the 10-yard line, and they finally catch up to him around the 5. 59 yards, 1st and goal, Trojans.
Yeah, you're just going to see Croman-Hook just run a little wheel route up the top. See number 5, Diane Kahulaku, leave his post on the perimeter and follow Pittman inside, setting up with a nice pitch and catch down the left sideline for a big gain.
Final seconds of the opening quarter, and Slovis, his pass tipped, and it's caught by an offensive lineman, and then they're going to say incomplete. It was almost picked off, and then Jalen McKenzie, the right guard, almost
rolling on the
caught
field, an incomplete pass, 2nd down.
That ricocheted 3 times before it hit the ground.
Man, another bad decision there by Keaton Slovis. Very fortunate that ball wasn't intercepted. Tried to go with a little RPO. He pulled it, was unsure, tried to pitch it anyways. You have to be decisive in this part of the field. Things happen too quickly. And if you're late, that's when bad things can really happen.
Wilger tipped it first, and then 2 other Cougars had a chance to pick it off. The Trojans catch a break, but now flat.
Full start, number 75, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
75 is who they called. The left guard, Elijah Vera-Tucker. It's a little bit of movement. Based on that look right there, though, there was only 5 defenders in the box for BYU. If I'm SC, I have to run it in this situation.
Looks like that's the case again. Defensively, they do run it. Carr, Wilger's got him and spun down at the 10-yard line. So only a pickup of 2. And when we start the second quarter, it'll be 3rd and goal for USC. BYU 10, Trojans 7 after 1. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, Allstate. Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, and Tom Luganbill. In Provo, it's 3rd and goal for USC as we start the second quarter, trailing by 3, ball on the Cougar 10. Slovis with time, and the pass incomplete to the 4-yard line. It was intended for Vaughns. It's 4th down, and SC will bring on the field goal team.
Tell you what, Tonga is having a heck of a game. This is his 2nd deflection in the passing game, and he was the lead blocker for the most recent touchdown by BYU. He's having a heck of a game there in the middle for this Cougar defense.
Chase McGrath on for a short field goal attempt. And he ties the game at 10 as we say hello to Cassidy Hubbard in the studio.
14 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the second quarter of play. The score is USC 10, BYU Cougars 10.
All right, Cassidy, we are even at 10 apiece. Early second quarter here, a beautiful day. Temperature in the low 80s here in Provo. BYU, both these teams playing ridiculously tough schedules early on. BYU started with Utah, had to go to Tennessee last week. Yeah, I get Tennessee's not very good, but still, it's a tough road game. They got Washington here a week from today, and USC, meanwhile, has a short week, has to play Utah on Friday, then go to Washington, and then they've got a bye and they go to Notre Dame.
That is an absolute gauntlet.
I mean, that is brutal.
It is brutal.
Oh, man.
I mean, the one saving grace there is the fact that SC has Utah at home.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just, and Fresno was a team that won 12 games. Stanford's tough. I mean, it is tough sledding for both these teams early, but they've responded well. Both have come out of the gates quite strong and have been up to the task of playing against top-tier competition.
Algier and Katoa are deep for BYU, with Stadhouse kicking off for USC. And it's muffed at the 10-yard line and then picked up by Algier. And he does a pretty good job to get back out to the 25-yard line. The quarterback for BYU is 19-year-old true sophomore Zach Wilson, who grew up a Utah fan. He's from Draper, Utah, went to Corner Canyon High School. It's about 20 miles south of Salt Lake City. Last year, he became the youngest quarterback to start a game in BYU history at 19 years, 2 months. That was in a win against Hawaii. Went 18 of 18 in their bowl game, then had off-season shoulder surgery and did not play great the first 2 games until late against Tennessee. Going to hand it off here to Tyson Williams, who gets maybe a yard or 2. Flags come flying in after Drake Jackson makes the tackle. True freshman defensive end for SC.
Holding, number 77. Offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Has any family got more TV time in the last 3 weeks than the Wilsons? We've seen Michael and Lisa. They were in Knoxville. They got a ton of TV time against Utah, the game week 1 here.
Oh, my goodness. And the relief on their face after the Tennessee game was priceless. They were so stressed out there with 17 seconds left until their son delivered that 64-yard bullet, man. They've had the experiences, the ups and downs of being a parent in college football over the last couple weeks, that's for sure.
On 1st and 20, Wilson's pass hits the leg of Williams, who is being engaged by a defender. 2nd and long.
When you watch Zach Wilson, what you're probably going to see is a guy that's very quick, great short area quickness. He has a big arm, takes some chances, sometimes unnecessarily, but he's got a lot of ability. But Tom, the biggest thing, he's a competitor. The guy never gives up, and his team really rallies for him.
And that's why I think he needs to use his legs more when the opportunity presents itself.
Here he is on 2nd and 20. And he dumps it off on a crossing route to Hefo. And he's thrown out of bounds around the 22-yard line by Chris Steele. So 3rd and long now for BYU.
BYU can't live in situations like this. They have to be able to run the ball efficiently on 1st and 2nd down, set up 3rd and manageables, because when you look at USC up front, no, they're not the pass rushing group that we saw 10, 15 years ago, but they have some guys that are very capable, most notably number 99, Drake Jackson.
Wilson wide open out of the backfield is Tyson Williams, and he's got the first down as he lowers the shoulder on a defender. The Trojans lost Williams coming out of the backfield. Gain of 13.
They tried to go with the quarterback spy with both number 91, Brandon Peely, and Hunter Eccles, number 31, and they lost track of who was covering the running back. You see both those guys trying to spy the quarterback. Well, here comes the running back right out the backside, and no one's home. In man coverage, you have to understand where you're at And when you lose a guy, you're in trouble.
Wilson's pass is caught. Back shoulder throw to Lalu Pututau. And it's another first down into USC territory. 14 more yards through the air. Zach Wilson getting in a rhythm.
A nice back shoulder there to a big tight end. You're going to see a lot of man coverage from USC throughout. That's what they do. They feel like they have an athletic advantage against just about everybody they play. So it's to be mano-a-mano throughout.
Going to run it here, and Asupa's going nowhere. Dragged down to the backfield for a loss by Marlon Tuipulotu.
You know, Greg, you talk about that man coverage for USC. Not only is it man coverage, Clancy Pendergast, the defensive coordinator, told us they're going to get up and press these receivers for BYU. You notice the defenders for SC up close to the line of scrimmage. You got to win some of those battles to get SC to back off. So it was a great back shoulder completion.
And they've taken advantage of USC's aggressiveness early. USC started settling on that side of the football.
Wilson with time, and a great catch made for a first down by Micah Simon, who was the hero in Knoxville at the end of regulation last week.
They've been running man, so this time they go with a little 3-deep zone, and the best spot to attack a 3-deep zone is that second level seam area. It's exactly where Micah Simon was, and he bodied him up. Knew he was about to get hit by that free safety who was lurking. Micah Simon, the hero from last week, picking up right where he left off here today against USC.
And that 64-yard catch with 7 seconds left to set up the game-tying field goal against the Vols. Wilson with a ton of time, hitches, now backs up, pointing, chasing his 3 defenders for USC. Wilson still got the ball, and now he just dumps it off to Simon, and he gets about 2 or 3 yards.
Oh my goodness. Zach Wilson just ran around forever, but he could have cut this loose about 5 or 6 seconds earlier. Watch Simon, who's just hanging out in the right flat, waving at his quarterback all day. I mean, no one within 25 yards of Micah Simon, but Wilson, with his eyes downfield, doesn't see it until very late. But if he finds Simon early, there could have been a much bigger play there for BYU.
And he's shaken up. So Simon comes out, 2nd down and 7. A pitch to Williams. Waiting for a hole to open, it doesn't. Brought down at the 30-yard line, pickup of 2. It'll be 3rd down.
Interesting spot on the field here, too. You have 3rd down and about 5. Clearly here at altitude, Jake Oldroyd, they have a ton of faith in him, but in this spot of the field, the way your offense is playing and the way Zach Wilson is playing, this could be 4-down territory.
Oldroyd's a walk-on. His career long is 43, and right now you're looking at about 48.
Man coverage across the board from SC, all press.
Play fake. Wilson setting up, takes a shot downfield, and oh, what a catch! Touchdown! Dax Milne! Chase Williams was all over the wide receiver Dax Milne, and Zach Wilson with a dime. Who needs 4-down territory or a long field goal? Let's just take a shot in 3rd and 5.
It's a great job of attacking that press coverage from USC. Just a beautiful throw and catch and a great win by Dax Milne out of the slot.
They looked at it just to make sure he secured the football. We've seen some incredible catches on both sides of the ball by BYU in this game to take the lead back. Oldroyd makes it 17-10.
Press coverage, get up in my grill on 3rd and 5. Come on. Let's go. Dax Milne, little slot fade. Right up the numbers, and a beautiful throw from his quarterback, Zach Wilson, who's off to a very nice start as his parents celebrate. BYU leads early.
Thank you, Cassidy. Back here in Provo, where BYU has the lead back. 17-10. Dax Milne's first touchdown catch of the year. BYU coaches told us yesterday they felt that if they scored 21 points, something that has been hard to do for them this year, that they'd have a chance to win. Well, they already got 17. And we're still early in the second quarter.
They have been very aggressive. They've obviously won the turnover margin. They've won field position, but they have also taken some really nice shots down the field that have made the most of those opportunities.
And SC elects to return it again. Carr gets knocked down around the 23.
Go back to the touchdown to Dax Milne. Just press coverage across the board, man to man from USC. A lot of space deep, though. So what do they attack it with? They try to attack it with a slot fade. They give him an answer underneath with a little return route. Two excellent combinations against man coverage and aggressive set defensively. Beautiful throw and catch. Great win by Dax Milne initially. And Wilson gives his wide receiver a chance. Beautiful throw to the top of the numbers. It's just the way you draw it up. Excellent start to the game for Zach Wilson.
You saw only one incompletion on that last drive. Malapei getting the carry and out near the 29.
Now, one of the things you love about Kedon Slovis is he's got that gunslinger mentality. Watch where he grips the football. There is no finding the laces with this guy. It's grip it and rip it. Get the ball out of his hand as quick as he can. He rarely has his fingers on the laces. Sometimes he's got his palm on the laces. It's whatever gets him comfortable to get the ball out.
See how he responds. After the two interceptions, they're going to keep it on the ground with Malapei. Got a first down. When in doubt, pound the football. This is a new offense. We're used to seeing the pro-style offense for what? Forever at USC. And now it's kind of an air raid with Graham Harrell as the offensive coordinator. But Graham Harrell, like most of the guys that were in Mike Leach's club, have been kicked out because they run the ball too much.
And they've done a great job of simplifying the system for these players. They can play fast and they take advantage of their athleticism in space.
Slovis rolling out here. Late pressure coming. Slovis hits Malapei out of the backfield. Up to the 45 for a good pickup.
Watch him roll out right here. And look where his hand is on the football. His eyes are downfield. He's not ripping it around in his palm and in his hand trying to get the ball right. That's what I love about this kid. I mean, he's so focused on what's going on downfield, what's going on in front of him. Everything else just happens naturally for him.
No laces on a full boot. You have an eternity to find the laces. He helps not to. I love it.
Back to the ground and Marquis Step, able to slip a tackle as he jumps into the secondary and all the way to the 44-yard line. That's only the fourth carry of the year for the freshman from Indianapolis, but they're very high on him, a 235-pound running back.
And they're going to have to get this running game going a little bit. So far, Slovis has made some nice throws, but some really bad decisions as well. For the most part, they have a favorable box to run it against. BYU, so far, they're focused on the pass, leaving only 5 defenders between the tackles. So therefore, USC has to take advantage of that numbers advantage and create a little balance with their run game.
Slovis zips it to Vaughns, and BYU is all over it. They'll give him positive yardage, gain of about 1. Gallo in coverage along with Criddle that time for BYU.
Now you talk about that run game and how it comes about. You know, they throw the football and they want to throw the football, but they're not dumb about it. If the box is light, they're going to run it. People say, well, why are you running it? Well, the defense is dictating that.
Step stays in the game. Haven't seen Zane Anderson in a while for BYU at safety. They run straight ahead, and Step is inside the 40-yard line. Third down coming up for USC.
And they've got to that play, that little wrap with a downhill lead. It's been a good play for them these last couple plays. And honestly, in this spot on the field, you got to be thinking 4 downs. I mean, this is third down, obviously a long field goal. So I wouldn't be shocked to see the exact same play from Graham Harrell, the offensive coordinator. Let's see if they go with that dive to the left or a run inside, knowing they still have another down to get it.
They will run it. And Step behind blockers, easily gets the first down, takes defenders with him all the way to the 22-yard line for 15 yards.
So they were doing that wrap, a little misdirection to the weak side. This time, they go strong. And Josh Fallow leads the way. Nice surge by the right side of that offensive line, and a good job by the tight end, Josh Fallow, getting up to the second level.
Step very productive, and now Malapai back in at running back for USC. And he'll get the call, and he is tripped up. The initial hit made by Thule. Gain of a couple on the play. There's Zane Anderson, very important player. Hurt his shoulder last week. You caught it during the game, and he tried to go early on. We'll see if he returns.
Yeah, big loss for them, especially from a leadership standpoint. They are much better defensively when he's on the field, whether it be at linebacker or where he was last week at safety. It's a tough spot not having number 23 out there defensively for the Cougs.
Timeout, BYU.
College football on ABC is brought to you by Old El Paso. Everything goes with Old El Paso. And Pacific Life, 150 years strong. Protection and retirement solutions for your future.
We all learn something new every week. Carson Palmer's a true freshman, worn number 15. Of course, JT Daniels was the starter this year, but is out for the year, got injured week 1. So Slovis made his first career start last week, set a school record for a true freshman. Graham Harrell is the offensive coordinator in his first year. Remember, Cliff Kingsbury was hired, but then he took the head coaching job of the Cardinals. Clay Helton fell in love with the offense after spending 6 weeks with Kingsbury, so he hired another, quote, Mike Leach disciple, going with Harrell. Harrell played for Leach at Texas Tech. On 2nd and 8, SC runs the ball. Malapai knocked down after a gain of only 1 or 2.
Continuing to try to emphasize that run game. BYU's begging them to do it. With how they're lining defensively, they have about 5.5 guys that are accounting for the run and trying to take away all those lanes in the passing game. But here, on a 3rd down, they're obviously going to have to resort to the air. Wouldn't be shocked, too, to see maybe a shovel pass, too. That's something they've run with some success these first couple weeks against those wide defensive ends. You might have a chance at it.
Slovis looking, now come back to the other side, and a receiver comes free. It's Vaughns who's got it inside the 10. Good protection for Slovis that time up front.
Yeah, just rushing 3 from BYU, dropping 8 in coverage. It's tough to find these windows when there's that many defenders in coverage. Good job of keeping the play alive, and nice job, too, by Tyler Vaughns uncovering and finding some open space.
What a throw.
Beautiful throw.
So 1st and goal on the 5-yard line. Give to Malapai. Touchdown, USC. The 4th of the year for Malapai.
You got to give some love to the offensive line. Watch this double team right at the point and how they are able to walk the defensive end just right to the end zone to open up the opportunities for Malapai. At some point, BYU is going to have to adjust how they're lining up defensively, because with the numbers they are currently putting towards the run game, they're going to have a tough time stopping these running backs in this offensive line.
We are tied again at 17 after the McGrath point after at the 5-minute mark of the 2nd quarter here in Provo. This season, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections and passionate fans like these by awarding the Liv Moss Student Section of the Year. The BYU student section already on the national watch list. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete to get the committee's attention by using hashtag LivMoss Student Section Contest. USC ran the ball 8 times on that drive. They had run it 8 times the entire game combined before that possession. So they just pounded BYU. That won't count, but it actually went over the crossbar, it looked like. Touchback.
See what, Zach Wilson's off to a very nice start with how he's really throwing it all over the field, especially exploiting the 2nd level on the seam against cover 3, and then you get man coverage. You have an opportunity to throw deep ball on 3rd and 5, and you take advantage of that opportunity. How about the deep ball to Dax Milne? Beautiful throw, getting it up and down over the defender. He is really playing confidently. Finished the game so strong last week against Tennessee. Some of that momentum that was created there at the end of game certainly carrying over into this one against SC.
But why should we be surprised? When we asked the coaches what stands out to you, they said confidence. The kid thinks he can do anything. Wilson with a long throw here and going down to try to get it as Shumway, but it's in the dirt, incomplete.
That's just bad mechanics there by Zach Wilson. If he could have that one again, just settle in a little bit and rip it out to the sideline. I tell you though, this BYU team, Greg, has protected better this week against SC than they did against Tennessee a week ago.
No question. This is a pretty good group, especially with Tufele and Drake Jackson off the edge.
They fake the jet sweep. Here's a pitch and a lot of running room for Tyson Williams on a beautifully executed play. Williams has the first down. Took a defensive lineman, Jay Tufele, running downfield to make the tackle.
They just run this jet sweep to the left, get those defenders working left, which gives you an isolation with the end man on the line of scrimmage, Connor Murphy, who's in for the injured Christian Rector. And you get that isolation. Murphy, number 90 for SC, can't be right. If he takes the quarterback, you got the pitch. If he takes the pitch man, quarterback's going to have a big gain himself.
There's the backup, Asupa, getting a carry. Out of bounds at the 41. So that's 5 more yards on the ground for BYU.
Really like the plan so far from offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes. I mean, this BYU offense last week got conservative at times. Didn't really take a ton of chances, but today they've been doing reverses. They've been going with misdirection. They've been throwing the ball down the field consistently. It's been a really good plan to work against SC.
Wilson with time to throw. And close to a first down is Romney. Looks like he'll have it as BYU is nearing midfield. Cougars have lost 6 straight home games against the Pac-12. They've been able to come up with some big road wins lately, at Wisconsin a year ago, and as we mentioned, Tennessee last week. But for whatever reason at home, they have not been able to take down some of the Power 5 teams. Coaches were telling us yesterday, Kalani Sitake said, we just got to have fun. We just got to have fun. We tend to rally the troops when we're on the road.
BYU has 10 players on offense right here. They're short a guy.
And here comes a loose defender. And the pass batted down and intercepted off the deflection. It's picked up by C.J. Pollard. First pick by Wilson today. 3rd on the year.
I mean, this was just a disaster from the beginning. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's only 10 BYU Cougars on the field. I mean, Zach Wilson, the quarterback, has to know that, or at least somebody on the sideline has to recognize the fact that they're short, because that was a disaster from the very beginning, and you make a bad play worse by turning it into an interception. But you look at that, the ball, nose of the football, looks as though it hit the ground.
Well, and it can hit the ground if you maintain control, but it did not look like Pollard had control off the tip from Peely, so BYU could catch a break here. Yeah, that ball's still moving. That's incomplete.
No doubt. So fortunate for BYU, but back to the pre-snap. I just don't understand how that happens. Somebody has to call timeout.
Yep. Well, and Greg, number 13, Micah Simon, who was on the line of scrimmage, split out wide. He did recognize it. He just didn't have the wherewithal to call the timeout. He was looking to the sideline, looking inside, throwing his hands out there, and then the ball was snapped.
It was 2nd down as well. BYU in USC territory. Check that. It will be 2nd down. So that will put the ball at the 46-yard line. Look at Scott Campbell. Give a shout out to Scott's other job. He's a 24-year fireman in San Jose.
After review, the ball hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass. It's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 46-yard line. Ball placement, hash mark closest to the press box.
Scott's also been doing the Ed Hockley workout plan, as you saw.
Seriously, it's carb-free lifestyle, all cut up.
Just like Luke's.
Just like Luke's.
Listen, I talked to him earlier. He said he's down to 3 days a week.
Big 12 crew. working this game. On 2nd and 10, Wilson grabbed by Ote. He started 5 games a year ago as a freshman.
So far here, 3rd down. I mean, BYU's had a nice plan offensively, and they haven't even involved maybe their best weapon offensively, and that's Matt Bushman, their tight end. Been very quiet today. He gets in a one-on-one. That might be the direction I look if I'm Zach Wilson.
Had only 2 catches last week. Tennessee did a good job against him. Wilson going downtown, and the pass is pulled in by Shumway, and a penalty marker comes in. 25 yards on the play. We'll see if they tack on more or if that was pass interference.
Pass interference, number 2. Defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 1st down.
It's on Elijah Griffin, but again, it's declined, and it's 1st down inside the 30 for BYU.
What an amazing catch. Elijah Griffin, the best corner on this SC team. Locked up one-on-one against Talon Shumway, who had a big touchdown the 1st overtime last week. What a great catch.
They come right back and go to Milne, and the pass is broken up. Incomplete by Chris Steele.
Now, I don't want to know what would happen to you, Dave, if you tried to bend like that and make a catch. It would not end well.
Snapped in half.
But, my goodness. I mean, that was a heck of a catch. It looked like that ball was nose down. It was diving. It was a little sinker from Zach Wilson. A great job of tracking it by Shumway.
Another pass play here. Wilson with time going to the end zone. Incomplete. Trying to hit Hefo. Coverage by Chase Williams, so now they're at 3rd and 10. 2:22 on the clock.
Hey guys, I'm on the USC sideline here, just watching SC between plays, and there's not a lot of hop in their step. They seem tired, and I don't know if it's the heat. I know they practice at night, they've played at night, but they don't have the same hop in their step in between plays that they had in the 1st quarter.
Not really humid though, right, Tom? Down there?
Not humid now, but it is a bit spicy.
Temperature expected to be around 85. Wilson with time again, and it's broken up. Will we have interference again? No. Intended for Romney. Hufanga over the top was defending for USC.
Yeah, Hufanga came in early. I thought for sure that was pass interference. I mean, he arrives probably a half second before that ball arrives. I mean, that should have been pass interference for sure on Hufanga. Fortunate for USC that the official kept the flag in his pocket.
44-yard attempt. Oldroyd is perfect this year. Trying to hook, it does, but too late. It's no good. So first miss for Oldroyd. It remains 17 apiece late in the 1st half. BYU got a break after the interception was overturned when it was 10 on 11. Then they got a 1st down, but eventually had to settle for a field goal try and missed it. The first Monday Night Football game featured the Jets and Browns. Billy Andrews had a pick 6 against Broadway Joe. Jets and Browns meet Monday night in week 2 of Monday Night Football. No Sam Darnold, out with mono. Trevor Siemian gets the start. The Browns coming off a loss in week 1. Coverage starts at Monday Night Countdown at 6. Former Jet Greg McElroy got a phone call this week. It was not from the Jets. Here's Carr cutting it back. And he's up to about the 33-yard line. Herron on the tackle. Aflac. All right, today's Aflac trivia question. BYU won the only national championship in 1984. Can you name the team that finished 2nd that year in the AP poll? Think about it as Slovis steps up, keeps the play alive, dumping it off to Carr, gets the 1st down as BYU's defenders. I don't know if they just thought he was going to go out of bounds or what, but the linebacker Kafusi just let him go, and it's a 17-yard gain.
Now I'm stuck on that Affleck trivia question. I'm thinking SC. I mean, that's just knowing how those things usually have a tendency of coming together. I'm going to guess SC in '84 finished 2nd in the AP poll.
It's not, but it is an opponent that BYU has.
Gotcha.
You said it is an opponent of BYU?
This season. Didn't say when. If it was previous, coming up. Just not today. On 1st down, Slovis with time. Again, Carr comes free out of the backfield and gets yardage after another missed tackle. So I said it's an opponent for BYU this year. It's actually next week's opponent, Washington.
Washington.
So second day, you're in 84.
Had no idea, frankly.
Meanwhile, SC moving the ball with 2 timeouts, just outside a minute to go. Slovis stepping up here and throws it incomplete. It was interesting. I mentioned earlier we talked with Kurt Warner this week. I think just listening to Kurt, knowing Kurt for a long time, covering him with the Cardinals, I think he sees a lot of Slovis, or he sees a lot of himself in Slovis, kind of a guy that was overlooked, a guy that loves football, and also right there always keeps his eyes downfield, because it looked like he could have run there but elected to throw it. Couldn't find his man.
Yeah, he's been very accurate. Clearly Kurt Warner's taught him extremely well, facing 3rd down here in a 2-minute situation.
Got to get to the 41-yard line. Slovis going to get hit. The ball is out. And an offensive lineman for USC, Vera Tucker, the left guard, able to cover it up. It was chopped out by Lorenzo Fauatea.
You're just going to watch. He's going to work to the right side in a one-on-one against Neal in the center. And Fauatea just stripping the ball, and Keaton Slovis does a pretty good job in the pocket of maintaining ball security. He had 2 hands on it there. Just a nice play by the defensive tackle, going right after that football as opposed to trying to take the quarterback's head off.
BYU used a timeout. Tom, they got 1 left with 59 seconds left. Got the State Farm halftime report coming up. Kevin Nagandi, Jonathan Vilma, another former Jet, Mark Sanchez. Did you get a call this week? You did Mark?
This is like a Jets broadcast. I mean, we got Mark, Vil, me. We got Jets all over the place.
Jonathan didn't get a call to play quarterback, though. UCF is destroying Stanford. How about Colorado? After beating Nebraska, comes back and loses to Air Force.
Don't play the service academies.
I'm telling you, Air Force is tough, man.
Just stay away.
Air Force is really tough.
Michigan almost got it last week from Army. What a great game that was, huh?
Amazing.
Hefo under it, and the fair catch made at the 15-yard line with 51 seconds to go. Number 1 Clemson is on ABC tonight at the Carrier Dome to face Syracuse. Can the Orange bounce back after getting annihilated at College Park against Maryland last week? 7:30 Eastern Time. They'll kick it off on ABC. The last time Clemson lost in the regular season, it was 2 years ago at the Cuse. See it happening again in 2019?
Probably not. Not even close. I wouldn't expect that game to be very competitive. I just looked at Syracuse offensively, and they've been inept relative to where they were the last couple years. DeVito's having a tough time filling the shoes of what was a great quarterback over the last few years.
Now that screen was just not good from the get-go. Katoa on the catch loses yardage, and so now with 1 timeout left, we'll see how BYU handles this, backed up inside their own 15. They will have to snap it one more time, but that might be it.
Yeah, you got to take it to half. Played well, made some great plays. Need to make a couple adjustments defensively against the run with how you're lining up, but if I'm BYU, kneel on it or hand it off inside. No reason to get too aggressive, backed up, just a few yards away from your own end zone.
He's going to keep it on the ground here with Katoa. And he's bottled up on what will be the final play of a very entertaining first half in Provo. When we return, Kevin Nagandi, Jonathan Vilma, Mark Sanchez will catch you up with everything on the State Farm Halftime Report after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Welcome to the State Farm Halftime Report.
Pretty good one in Provo. Mark, what are you seeing from Keaton Slovis?
Pair of interceptions. That wasn't great to start off on the road, but he's really bounced back. I like his accuracy later in the half.
Tied up 17 apiece. BYU getting the ball in the second half. Meanwhile, their next opponent is Utah, number 11 in the land. And taking on Idaho State, Tyler Huntley to Brian Thompson.
And you never usually see this from a Utah offense. Airing it out like that, it's usually ground and power. Great defense. Great throw by Tyler Huntley right
82 yards, 24-0 Utah at home. Meanwhile, We got Colorado in action coming off that emotional victory over Nebraska, in some trouble, taking on Air Force and Laviska Shenault. The Wildcat 2 yards out. We're tied at 23. They were favored in this game. We head to overtime. Air Force with the ball. Caden Remsburg, the outside run.
This was huge, but another service academy giving these big schools fits every week. Last week it was Navy. This week it's Air Force.
And here's Steven Montez. He's trying to find Shenault in the corner. Cannot get it done.
I just wanted to see something a little better at the end there. Maybe something, a better combination.
Right? Yeah, give your receiver a chance. Just throw the ball up there. Lob it up.
Opportunity.
Meanwhile, Stanford on the road. UCF looking at this as an opportunity to show out against the Power 5 and true freshman Dylan Gabriel. JV, you're high on this kid. Why?
Very high on Dylan Gabriel because he puts the ball up. He likes to air it out. That's what UCF is all about. Brandon Wimbush was there. Dylan Gabriel stepped in for Brandon Wimbush in game 2. And now you see the results of it in game 3. Airing it out over that slow Stanford secondary.
38-yard touchdown connection to Trey Nixon. And then, Gabriel Davis. How about this? UCF up 31-7.
He's slinging that ball today, so accurate. He looks like Tua, really.
Really?
Yeah. He's slinging it.
That is the fearless of being a true freshman. Anything can happen, right?
We'll anything is happening.
And right now, anything is happening. Because, again, in 2017 was the last time we saw a weekend where we didn't have a top 25 matchup, right? We saw 7 upsets on that day. Will we see one? South Carolina taking on Alabama? Well, right now, no. Because it's 17-10 on 4th down. They decide to go for it. Najee Harris making everybody look silly.
Look at this individual effort. This is incredible. Zeke Elliott hurdle right there. That was impressive.
Can I talk about number 53 and his horrible effort right there? He didn't want to tackle him.
It's going to be long, right?
It'll be long tomorrow.
It's going to be long for Maryland's offense here. We're going to pick things up, taking on Temple. Remember, their high-scoring, potent offense that we saw the first 2 weeks. Here comes Anthony Russo.
We got to thank
Kenny Yeboah.
Anthony Russo did a great job in the end for the victory, but thank that Temple defensive line. They were outstanding, beating up that Maryland offensive front. Didn't give them any chance for any big plays.
Missed tackles. This is the big play on special teams.
Missed tackles, missed opportunities. Temple almost gave this game away with a shank punt in their own territory right there, right near their own goal line. But then they come back with 2 huge stops on defense.
They're down by 5. Set up now here, 4th and goal. Anthony McFarland stopped short by Sean Bradley there. So Temple keeps Maryland out of the end zone. And then after that bad punt, Maryland again. And they can't get it done. They had 8 tries inside the 10, 0 points. And Temple gets the upset 20-17.
Great job by Temple and that defensive front.
All right, staying in the Keystone State. 100th meeting between Penn State and Pitt. 3rd quarter, we're tied at 10. Noah Kane, the keeper, 13 yards. Penn State up by 7. 4th quarter now. Kenny Pickett, he really played well.
Gutsy call. I love this by Coach Whipple, showing on 4th down that, hey, we can go up top after we play action you. Here's what I didn't understand.
Yeah, Mark, I don't like this. It's a field goal. Look at the situation. It was 4 minutes to go in the game, 4th and goal. You're on the road. Go for it. You're down 7. Kicking a field goal means nothing because you needed a touchdown anyway.
Need a touchdown.
Didn't matter. And their kicker missed the 19-yarder. And then late in the game, the final try, the Hail Mary not answered. And Penn State holds on to win. They face Maryland next. Meanwhile, Ohio State versus Indiana. J.K. Dobbins, how about 193 yards on the ground? They have made every single thing in this offense look good.
I love it. My possible primetime player had over 150 yards in the first half. They were rolling offensively.
Justin Fields, 4 touchdowns, 51-10. Right now, updating you, Iowa State. That's a weather delay for that Cy-Hawk Trophy in Ames. And Arizona State, Michigan State scoreless early in the 2nd quarter in East Lansing. More highlights coming our way. BYU, man, they look very good. Well, again, we've got a very good game in Provo. The halftime report continues here with JV, Mark, and myself after this.
This halftime report is brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. Welcome back to the State Farm halftime report.
Georgia next week, taking on Notre Dame at home, taking on Arkansas State here, and this offense is flawless, Mark.
This is a nice little tune-up before they take on Notre Dame at home. But, this kind of elite speed on the edge, we knew this game was going to be a blowout.
Dominic Blaylock there. Georgia's outscored their opponents 148-23 so far. Largest shutout in 5 years. And mentioning Notre Dame, the next opponent for Georgia, They're taking on New Mexico. Ian Book to Avery Davis. Book in that backfield had some time. And then look at the trickeration. Faked everybody watching that play.
Yeah, Notre Dame not to be outdone. They're showing that they have talent as well. Ian Book is a tremendous quarterback as well. So it'll be a great matchup next week.
All about big plays. That was 59 yards. This one's 65 yards.
All about get off me.
That's Javon McKinley.
When the quarterback's accurate like that, he gives his guys a chance to make plays down the field. These guys aren't diving for balls or falling over trying to catch balls. He's putting it in between their numbers and giving them an opportunity for big plays.
They still got a quarter to play. Notre Dame's up 52-7. How about a big upset brewing? Georgia Tech and the Citadel. Final seconds here. Citadel up by 3. They were 27-point dogs. Tobias Oliver, 18-yard touchdown. Ready for this?
Game over, right?
Jeff Collins called a timeout before the play.
Oh.
Georgia Tech would get conservative, and they would tie it in the final seconds with a field goal. In overtime, it's the other side. Jacob Godek, the Citadel with the kick.
That is...
Wow, a backbreaker.
Words can't describe that.
The Citadel's first win against the current members of the ACC. They were 0-22 coming in. Meanwhile, watch this. Kansas State, Mississippi State, bye-bye. Malik Knowles to the house in Stark Vegas.
This was a back-and-forth game. It was actually a very fun matchup because both teams were evenly talented. It was about big plays after big plays. Kansas State finally pulling it out.
This looked like a video game play. Don't leap up. Don't leap up, cuz.
Leap up.
What an effort. Wow.
This is why I love the effort.
Right after.
He tried to extend afterwards as if no one saw that he landed on his back.
Eric Schrader.
In the air.
And just a yard shy of the first down. Kansas State wins 31-24. Updating you, South Carolina, Alabama. Brian Holinsky. Now, it's 4th and goal here.
Take the points, Kev.
Take the points. And they don't.
Right, Mark? I would take the points right there. Get a little momentum going into halftime against a really good Bama team. You need that momentum.
More halftime coming up after this.
This halftime report is brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
NFL Prime Time. The show that started it all is back on Sunday nights, airing exclusively on ESPN+.
He could go all the way.
Join me, Chris Berman, and Tom Jackson, same as it ever was, for extended highlights and in-depth analysis from all of Sunday's action. NFL Primetime, airing exclusively on ESPN Plus at 7:30 p.m. Eastern all season long.
Boomer and TJ back. Can't wait. Now let's take a look at today's Star Watch, brought to you by State Farm. Trevor Lawrence, speaking of primetime, Clemson taking on Syracuse. What do you need to see tonight in prime time here, Mark, from Trevor?
I want to see him tighten things up. You know, he's had a little bit of a shaky start. That's what everybody's talking about. He's thrown a couple sloppy interceptions. I want to see him just tighten it up and play to the level we know he can. Make these plays on the run when he has to, but take care of that football and have a complete game.
4 picks all of last season. We've seen 3 so far from Trevor Lawrence in this offense. And here's our Saturday slate. JP, what are you keeping an eye on?
I'm keeping an eye on that Oklahoma-UCLA game. Oklahoma has been on a tear offensively, giving up 0 sacks. They have had no negative plays that I can think of. I want to see what UCLA is going to do against Oklahoma.
Jalen Hurts, man, video game-like numbers so far in that offense. He's an early Heisman guy at the top, right?
Yes.
Jonathan Taylor?
Yes, of course.
BYU getting the ball, second half.
USC trying to stay undefeated, get to 3-0 before hosting Utah on Friday night, tied with BYU as we get ready to start the third quarter here in Provo. With Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville on the field, I'm Dave Pasch. All right, Greg, give me a key for both teams going into the second half.
SC's got to look at themselves and say, hey, we gave them the short field a couple times. Keaton Slovis made a couple of really bad decisions in the passing game, but they got a little bit better as the game went along. And if I'm BYU, I just want to stay aggressive offensively. They've done a great job using misdirection. They've tried to throw the ball down the field and had some effectiveness doing it. If I'm BYU, stick with the plan because it's working extremely well to this point.
Slovis had that touchdown pass right off the bat after he was the story of the Pac-12 in week 2, lighting up Stanford. Though I'm not sure that looks as good now with what's happening to Stanford getting destroyed by UCF. But then Slovis had the back-to-back picks, and that shifted momentum in BYU's favor. This will be a touchback, and the Cougars will start the second half on their 25-yard line. Our Pacific Life game summary. Slovis making his first road start, had the touchdown to Pittman early on, but then back-to-back interceptions. What a great play. Diving pick there. And then Zach Wilson with a deep ball to Milne for a score as BYU put up 17 first-half points after scoring just 9 combined in the first 2 games in the first half.
Zach Wilson's been very accurate with the football. Do think there's going to be some opportunities here in the second half for him to use his legs, and I think if BYU wants to, they need to really try to commit to that run game as much as they possibly can.
But Wilson will throw it here in the first play of the second half, surveying the field, everybody covered, and now throws it away. Here's Tom.
Well, guys, coming off of the first half, I think we all agreed that BYU is going to have to adjust their plan on defense. And talking to Kalani Sitake, he said, listen, that doesn't look like the air raid to me. He goes, if they're having to run it, I know they don't want to run it. So that's fine with me. We just got to play off blocks better, but we cannot give up explosive plays. So that's not the air raid as I see it.
BYU actually averaged more yards a carry than SC did on the ground in that first half. And a great move there at the second level by Tyson Williams, picking up 11 yards for the grad transfer from South Carolina.
It's a beautiful job on the zone read, trying to read Connor Murphy, number 90, the in-man on the line of scrimmage. He chases, but too late as Tyson Williams presses that whole play side. Tyson Williams done a really nice job the last 4 quarters of work against Tennessee and here today against SC.
Backup quarterback Jaron Hall is in. He threw a pass on a trick play to Zach Wilson, the starter. And now it's just a run play to the near side, and that is beautifully played by John Houston, wrestling Hall to the ground for a loss of the play.
It's a great job by the middle linebacker. Just a quarterback sweep. You're going to see him work through all that trash on the left-hand side. They tried to bring the jet sweep motion to get the defense to run to their right. However, they stayed at home. Houston flew through there. The 5th-year senior make a great play in the backfield.
Zach Wilson back in on 2nd down and 11. Defender comes free. Wilson gets hit. Ball comes out. The hand was going forward, though incomplete. It was true freshman Drake Jackson, who's the first true freshman to start a season opener on the defensive line for USC in over a decade since Everson Griffin back in '07.
And him and Jay Tufele going to make up quite the 1-2 punch along the defensive line for SC in the weeks and months to come. Clancy Pendergast, he knows he's got a really good group. I mean, Drake Jackson, highly recruited guy, long, disruptive off the edge, but it's really kind of all going to revolve around Jay Tufele, their defensive tackle.
Who's from Salt Lake City, by the way. Flag comes down, and Jackson forces a fumble on the sack, and the ball is loose. You've got a Trojan and a Cougar wrestling for it at the 15-yard line. And it's recovered
on the
by
field
BYU. Penalty marker down. The center, James Empey, recovered the fumble by Zach Wilson after Drake Jackson forced it.
Holding, number 69, offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So a frustrating opening series to the second half for Kalani Sitake's team.
And you have to wonder why they didn't come out and just kind of pick up where they left off
29
in the first half.
Is now 92 for USC.
I'm just surprised they didn't try to establish the ground attack because they were doing so very effectively throughout the first 30 minutes of this ball game.
Jake Oldroyd punting from around his 3-yard line. And the fair catch made by Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Keaton Slovis has done a nice job, for the most part, getting the ball out of his hands. Very accurate in the quick game. And then when it's not there initially, he's bought himself some time while still keeping his eyes downfield. Really nice throw here on the deep ball to Kromenhoek. But he has left a couple of plays on the field. He predetermined this one. He's got the comeback wide open. There's nothing underneath the number 1 receiver to the left-hand side. He tries to work the middle. And Kafusi was right there drifting underneath the over route. He's got to be smarter with some of his progressions, but for the most part in the quick game, he still looks very comfortable.
18 years old from Scottsdale, Arizona. And they run on 1st down, and Carr is dropped. Max Tooley making the play in the backfield. Setback of a couple.
Maybe this is the adjustment that you're going to see from BYU. They had a tough time with some of their alignments. It allowed USC to create little momentum on the ground. So what they did there is they just brought Tooley off the edge, triggered him quickly. It's a nice tackle for loss.
They run Carr again. Has trouble finding any running room. Got a little bit of yardage. Tooley was in there again along with El Bakri. And I got 3rd down and long for USC.
Yeah, Greg, and that's what they're doing. BYU's reducing the front down, walking 31 up, and now have more of a traditional 6-man box.
Late stems and movements because of all the pre-snap decision-making Keaton Slovis has to have at the quarterback spot. And they get in the spread formation. They do have a tendency to work some of that quick game. They have a lot of cushion here to Vaughn's to the weak side down here at the bottom of the screen. Could be an area where they might try to get the ball out of the hands.
Slovis leaving the pocket, being chased, keeps his eyes downfield, and then gets squashed. So it's going to be 4th down and about 6, and USC will punt the football here. El Bakri and Wilgar played very well today, made the stop.
Now on 3rd and 10, BYU's aware of what USC needed for a 1st down. So they just had all their defenders kind of squatting there at the 1st down marker, and there wasn't a whole lot available to Keaton Slovis as he worked through his progression. Good stop, good start for this BYU defense.
So Ben Griffiths, who turns 28 years old on Tuesday, going to try to pin BYU deep. Former Australian rules football player hits that one high in the air and short. Fair catch made by Hefo. BYU ball when we come back. Early 3rd in a tie game in Provo. Take a look at our crunch time, brought to you by Cheez-It. Double overtime last week. Tyson Williams, with some help from his friends, into the end zone to beat Tennessee in double overtime for the 26th win against the Power 5 school for BYU since 2003. The most in FBS. I get it. BYU's an independent. They play a lot of FBS Power 5 schools, but impressive win on the road in Knoxville, and that 64-yard pass to Simon with about 5 seconds left to set up the game-tying field goal. And then Williams with the eventual winner in overtime. Tyson has played well again today, and he'll get the carry on 1st down here. BYU with its worst starting field position of the afternoon at the 13. And Williams gets about 3 on that play.
You have to think this is going to be what BYU is likely to be here in the 2nd half. They got to establish that ground attack. But Wilson's played well and been accurate with the football, and they've hit on some big plays. They need to continue to try to feed Tyson Williams. He's a big back that gets better as the game goes on. Expect him to get plenty of opportunities here in the 2nd half.
That's going to be a pass play for Zach Wilson. Everybody covered again. Wilson's going to get hit. Boy, how did he sense the defender coming from behind him and avoid the sack? Now he tucks it and runs. Takes a shot, but he'd get the 1st down at the 19-yard line after, or the 24-yard line rather, after Taylor Stewart got the tackle. Peely had a chance at a sack, but couldn't make the play in the backfield.
And we said this guy reminds you a little bit of Johnny Manziel. I mean, he's got eyes in the back of his head. I don't know how he sees that or feels that, but to move just slightly off his mark, to buy himself just a little bit more room, and then to spin out to the left-hand side was beautifully done by the quarterback. Great play by Zach Wilson.
He'll throw it here. Got single coverage. And it may have got deflected. It was about 3 or 4 yards short of the intended receiver, Micah Simon.
It's all footwork too, Greg. Once again, when he's been off or when he's rushed or just hasn't finished the throw, it's all from the ground up with him. He's so dynamic and he can improvise, and he's got that riverboat gander feel, but he's also got to be technically sound from throw to throw.
They fake that jet sweep and run Williams. He's able to get away from the initial defender, and wow, he almost got the 1st down when it looked like he should have been tackled at the line of scrimmage by Polo Mao.
Jet sweep working from right to left, which tries to create a little bit of misdirection. Done a good job taking advantage of USC's aggressiveness defensively. I think those defenders are going to run to the left with the jet sweep, give it to a little bit of a stretch off the right-hand side, and Williams makes the first guy miss for a nice gain.
He's played at North Carolina, played at South Carolina, now here at BYU. Gets the carry again and moves the pile past the line to gain to the 35. So we honor those who serve, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. A shout out to Tyson Williams' mom, Natasha. 17 years of service in the United States Army. Currently a U.S. Army major stationed at Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina. Tyson grew up in Sumter, South Carolina, and is a grad transfer from the Gamecocks. His backup, Emmanuel Asupa, is in on first down for BYU midway through this third quarter, still knotted at 17. Wilson sacked. Dropped by Hunter Echols at the 29 for a big loss.
Just a whiff off the right-hand side. You're going to see pressure, and the right guard, Tristan Hogue, just misses as Echols gives him a little run right around and drops Wilson for a loss. Blitzing the quarterback's throwing arm. It's tough in a spot like that for Wilson.
Second sack for SC today. Back to the ground game. Asupa. He gets grabbed by Tui Pulotu. This is the pronunciation guide bowl. How come you and Tom aren't doing this? How come you guys just can call out the right guard?
We're very proud of you, Dave.
The three technique.
You're carrying us.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Pat on the back to you.
At least we've got Wilson as the quarterback's name for BYU.
No, we're going to change his name after this play.
Third down at 12. Wilson climbing the pocket and incomplete. May have been tipped by Peely. It's fourth down. At least Peely is celebrating as if he tipped it.
Wilson's pass falls incomplete. Brings up fourth and 12.
Yeah, he definitely gets it. He's going to be right here, lined up on the right side, and he kind of drifts back. He says, I'm not going to get home, so I'll just throw my hands up as best I can. No, no, no. Little Dikembe Mutombo shaking his finger after the nice deflection. Seen a few of those from the defensive lines of both teams today.
Oldroyd will punt again, and USC likes to have two guys back on punt returns. St. Brown is about 15 yards in front of Vaughns. And this is a crusher. Wow. And it's muffed and then scooped up by Vaughns, and he gets swarmed. Back at the 15-yard line. Algiers' helmet came off. It's a negative 4-yard return after a 52-yard boot. Today's biggest moment of the game brought to you by Samsung QLED TV. This is a beautiful touchdown pass by Zach Wilson to Dax Milne in the first half.
Zach Wilson, we told him at the beginning of the broadcast, he's a little bit like Johnny Manziel. I mean, just kind of hopping around, buying time, waiting, patient, and then eyes in the back of the head. He pulls a rabbit out of a hat, and next thing you know, he's out the gate on the backside. Does it remind you a little bit of Johnny just bouncing around, hopping, doesn't like it, gone. This is not us that made the comparison either. This was from Jeremy Pruitt, who played against Johnny Manziel. He's the head coach at Tennessee. He was the defensive coordinator at Alabama and played against Manziel several times. Said Zach Wilson has instincts that resemble that of Johnny football. Pretty high praise from Tennessee head coach.
Malapei turning it upfield on first down with a big run, breaking tackles, and ran into his own guy that time. Kowaliku on the stop. Pittman actually looked like he was getting blocked, and that slowed down Malapei. Otherwise, he might be out the gate.
And talking to Graham Harrell, the offensive coordinator, he said, look, this offense, we don't run it a ton because we've never had a back that could carry it 30 times. Malapei might be the first guy ever in a true air raid system that can really shoulder the load, and you got to think he's going to get a heavy dose in the second half with how he finished the first half and how BYU had been aligning in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, Greg, count the numbers in the box right now. I mean, they're making it easy for him.
They're short. That's a run look all day.
Malapei again, and he's grabbed by Fanua. Stopped short of the line to gain, so it will be third down and a couple here for USC.
Third down here. You can still run the ball if the box looks good enough to run, and there's only 4 guys in the box defensively. Expect to run from USC.
Yep, Malapei, and it's going to be close. They mark him short. The ball did not get to the 41. Zach Daw, who's a two-time high school state wrestling champ in Utah, was able to grab a hold of the running back and pin him. SC keeping its offense on the field, and then Clay Helton says, nope, get the special teams unit out there to punt it away.
Great job by this BYU front. Because numbers-wise would certainly tell you run all day long, and it should be out the gate just given the numbers advantage that you have offensively. See the knee down. Ball clearly short of the line to gain. The yellow line is not official, but looks like a good spot from the officials.
It hangs in the air forever, and the fair catch made around the 13 by Hifo. I don't know if there's a head coach in college football who's kept his job that has still had his position talked about more than Clay Helton. It'll be interesting to see what USC does now that Lynn Swan, the athletic director, has resigned. Dave Roberts, the compliance director, is the interim AD. We'll see which direction USC President Carol Folt goes. Twitter went wild with suggestions for which former USC football player will be the next AD. We're not going to jump on that train. Pat Hayden, Lynn Swan. We'll see who's next. It will be interesting, though, what direction they go and what that means for Clay Helton, who's very well respected as an offensive coach around college football. BYU ball in a tie game, and they run it off the left side, and Houston comes over to make the hit on Williams after a gain of a couple.
Lugs, right now, if I'm BYU, I need to get Zach Wilson into a little bit of a rhythm.
Yeah.
I like that I'm established the ground attack here in the early part of the second half, but at some point your quarterback's going to have to make some throws. He hasn't completed a pass in this half yet. Expect him to get the ball in his hands soon.
Williams able to fall forward, spinning out of that initial tackle try by John Houston. 3rd and long for BYU.
Well, and maybe a way of doing that, because we've seen batted balls, okay? Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator, if he could get Zach Wilson out of the pocket. Look at USC here, guys.
Saw Jeff Grimes, the OC. A flag is down. It's a first down grab for Matt Bushman. First time we've called his name today. The outstanding tight end for BYU. There is a penalty marker down in front of the USC bench.
There should be too many people on defense. They couldn't get substituted in time. There were about 13 or 14 Trojans on the field when the ball was snapped.
And that would be declined.
And I think they only had one lineman in his position within the box when the ball was snapped.
Illegal substitution. Defense, 12 on the field. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Look at all those guys. I mean, just completely discombobulated as they were trying to get a substitution to get some of their pass rushers in there on 3rd and medium. Good job taking advantage by BYU's offense.
And Bushman, who's a future NFL player, just too good to be held for so long, as Hifo had trouble holding onto the ball. Still able to get back to the line of scrimmage and get maybe a yard, but that was awkward. He lost the handle as he was coming over here, and
it looked like on a jet sweep they were actually trying to slow Hifo down and throw it back. It looked like potentially, I don't know, the way he stopped and the way the guys moved. It was strange, the handle there between Hifo and Wilson.
Yeah, he just bobbled the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he stopped. It looked like he was trying to throw it or something, and he bobbled it or what, but
no, he definitely bobbled it, and I think that's why he stopped. 3rd down and 3 for BYU.
Tempo.
Give to Asupa, and great balance as he was getting tackled. Able to put his hand down, keep his feet alive, and move the sticks.
I like this tempo that they're using. Get that offense into a bit of a rhythm. Maybe take a shot over the top at some point.
Wilson rolling to the right, and that back shoulder throw caught. A flag down 2. Romney with a great catch. Taylor Stewart blanketing the receiver on that far sideline. It's a first down. Gain of 15 of the play.
Pass interference, number 6. Defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
I mean, that's an easy call, but still, what a great catch. These BYU receivers, even the linebackers, have made some incredible grabs today.
Yeah, they are really strong, too. I mean, BYU, Shum weighs 210 pounds. Simon has really shown some strength, too, at times, both catching it and running with it. They have some good, big bodies at wide receiver. Not the fastest group, but very sound and always on the same page with Zach Wilson.
Might get a review here, but even if we get a review and they overturn the call in the field, you still have pass interference. So it's going to be a first down either way for BYU.
Well, Dave and Greg, this is a much-needed stoppage if you're USC. They're gassed right now on defense. Just watching 78, Jay Tufele, one of his countermates coming off of the sideline. They are really dragging right now. This tempo for BYU is making a difference.
And Wilson on this drive, 3 of 3. They've run it 4 times. Need to get a bit closer for Jake Oldroyd, who missed a 44-yarder earlier. Wilson's pass on target for a first down. Lalu Patuta on the catch. It takes a handful of USC players to get him out of bounds.
Just love the design. You fake the jet sweep left, then he comes back around, and you get a flood to the right side of the field. And you sneak your backup tight end, Patuta, out there, and it's really nicely executed by BYU.
Wilson's got the hot hand. We'll see if they'll let him spin it here on first down. It's an option, and USC reads it well. Broken tackle, though, and Williams able to get maybe a yard of play. Chase Williams couldn't make the tackle in the backfield for USC.
And with USC trying to trigger late, this tempo is really simplifying the coverage and the looks you're getting from the Trojans.
Wilson to the air. Hefo goes down to get it. Rule the catch inside the 10, but short of the line to gain. BYU keeping the pressure on, getting to the line on 3rd down and short.
Nice job by Hefo, and expect to run play inside here on 3rd and short.
There it is with Williams, and Ote makes the play at the point of attack. Well done by the 250-pound sophomore linebacker from Las Vegas. And Kalani Sitake made his mind up quickly. He's bringing in the field goal unit. Oldroyd, as we mentioned, missed from 44 yards, but made a 23-yarder earlier. You guys agree with this call here, late 3rd?
Yeah, but they're going with that same play, that same formation.
You're right. There's no field goal. They went with the group that scored the touchdown with Luke Andrada at quarterback. And
timeout, USC.
A different number 5, Dayan Gowolaku, the cornerback who scored the touchdown in there. It looked like they were bringing in the field goal team, but Sitake surprised him. Timeout, SC. So BYU going with a formation that worked in the first half, but will they change their minds now after they forced USC to call a timeout? And will they have Jake Oldroyd come on for the short field goal attempt?
Yeah, I liked the idea, because when you saw the mass substitutions, it looked like, hey, here comes the field goal unit. That's usually what you see in a 4th down situation. Instead, they line up under center. You identify the numbers. You say, wow, they're back doing what they scored on earlier. So that was a good, effective use of substitution to at least force USC to burn a timeout.
Well, and Greg, Clay Helton right now through that entire break has been talking to the officials, because he felt like even though it looked like it was a field goal unit coming on, it was still a substitution, and they were going to let BYU snap the ball. And that's what the discussion's about right now, based on who's coming in from BYU's sideline and how the officials have handled this.
Yeah, and USC, if BYU substitutes, USC has a couple seconds to substitute as well.
And there's a signal for that. And Clay Helton gets both of your hands spread out by the official. When they see that, they know they could put their players on the field.
And the center judge, too, will go up to the quarterback and say, hold it, hold it, hold it.
It's the same group, guys.
Here's the same group. Let's see if they go with that pitch inside lead right behind Tonga. Big number 95, the defensive tackle.
He's behind Andrada. Gowolaku is moving, and they pitch it to him again. It's the same play. Oh, my goodness. Gowolaku gets absolutely pasted. It did not get the first down, but was there a whistle before the snap?
On the previous play, the substitution process was not completed. Therefore, we're going to give USC their timeout back. Right now, we're going to replay 4th down.
Wow. But why didn't they announce that before they lined up to run that last play?
Yeah, why the late whistle? That should have been announced long before BYU was even set up to run the aforementioned play. Let's see if they have a wrinkle off of it. They've run it twice now. One time successfully, one time not. Let's see if they can do something off of it.
Nope. Gowolaku gets the call again, trying to muscle his way past the line to gain, and it looks like he did. Although one official is to the right side of that yellow line. Let's see where they put the ball down.
Wow.
It's really close. Kanai Mauga was the first man for USC to greet the runner Gowolaku.
Man, there's a lot of bodies. It's really tough to tell from that angle.
Talk about knowing what's coming, Greg.
Correct. And knowing what's coming and learning to like it. Gawoliku, just hard to see where he's down.
Right. And you saw one official at the top of the screen. He was on the first down side of the line to gain. The linesman on this side, he was short, and he is short. USC ball. Satake not happy with the spot.
There were just so many bodies in there. It's just hard to tell when Gawoliku was down or when forward progress was stopped. So it's almost as if these officials, they're kind of guessing as they run towards the pile. Then they try to identify where the ball carrier is.
I mean, you see him go down there, and that would tell you that the ball is at the 8-yard line. But again, you can't see exactly where it is. And so it's almost like a guessing game. And I think Satake is saying we want to review that. But boy, I mean, there's really no way to tell with video evidence whether that's a call that you could overturn.
I mean, it looks like the spot is solid. It's just they were short by just a matter of inches. I mean, can you tell in a replay review whether or not they were able to compensate for the amount that they were short? I don't think you can.
So USC takes over on its 8-yard line. Every play is reviewed, and we're told that the replay booth telling our truck that they were comfortable with what they saw. Now BYU calls a timeout.
I think
well, if Tyson Fury wants that rematch with WBC heavyweight champ Deontay Wilder will have to get past the big Swede Otto Wallin first. Catching the 12-round fight on ESPN Plus in English and Spanish. 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. To order the main card, go to ESPNplus.com/top rank. You can stream the undercard starting at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. BYU called that timeout to challenge the ruling on the field, but it's not like the NFL where you have a lot of times a guy upstairs that's your challenge guy. He looks at the replay and says, "Coach, go with it, challenge it," because I don't know how anybody could look at this live and say, yeah, you should challenge that. You should risk losing a timeout over that, because I don't think there's any way that gets overturned.
And spot fouls most of the time don't get overturned because it's really difficult to find indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn. So it looks here.
Problem is you can't see the ball, Greg.
You can't tell where the ball's at, and you can't tell when Gawoliku is down. That's what's challenging about the looks and the amount of bodies that are in there around the pile.
To your point, though, Dave, the coach is up in the box. You know, they're seeing that. I mean, they've got monitors. They should be relaying that down. Hey, this is a huge risk if you're going to do this.
Of course, the yellow line is not official. It's so hard to find any evidence that the spot was poor.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, USC. BYU will be charged with a timeout and has no more challenges for the half.
And I have to imagine that Scott Campbell, the referee, went over there and said, I'm sure there was a conversation about, is it being reviewed? He said, yes, it's being reviewed. They're comfortable. We're not going to review it further. But Kalani Satake said, I'm going to challenge it anyway, which obviously was a mistake. Timeout could become a factor in a close game. Meanwhile, SC backed up on its 8-yard line. Slovis, the true freshman quarterback, with a shovel pass to Carr. And Carr is up to the first down line at the 18 before he's brought down by Fanua.
And that's a play I thought they might run a little earlier on 3rd and long because of the width that you're seeing right now from the defensive line of BYU. That shovel pass oftentimes will draw the pass rush vertically, and you can just dump it to your running back underneath for an easy completion and a nice gain.
Slovis, who settled down after those 2 interceptions early on, gives to Carr here. And he leaps out to the 22-yard line. Second down rather, coming up here for USC. Closing moments of the third quarter in a tie game. Trojans have a quick turnaround. They get Utah at home on Friday. BYU hosts Washington next Saturday.
The space to run the ball if they wanted to up to that.
Slovis, little pressure, and Slovis going to keep it here. Wrapped up at the 28-yard line by Wilgar, close to the line to gain. They spot him just short. It'll be third down when we start the final quarter after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Extra Yard for Teachers Week is an annual celebration led by the College Football Playoff Foundation that honors great teachers across the country. To learn more about Extra Yard for Teachers, follow at CFP Extra Yard or search the hashtag Extra Yard Week. There's Max Slovis, Keaton's father, who is a math teacher at a middle school in the Phoenix area. Also Keaton's mom, Lisa, a middle school teacher in Arizona. First road trip for the Slovis family, with Keaton making his second career start. 18-year-old true freshman handing it off in 3rd and 1, and it is Marquise Stepp getting the first down.
Keaton Slovis hasn't had his best stuff today. He's made a couple bad decisions, predetermining where he's going with the football. Those interceptions were big, but he's bounced back. He's been accurate on the underneath throws and has made better decisions here in the last 2 quarters after what was a bit of a rocky start.
Well, they've changed the play calling. He threw it only one time in the 3rd quarter. He'll throw it here, and Pittman's got it for a first down for USC. Out near the 44-yard line. That looked like the Slovis of the initial drive.
And they've been running the ball really effectively, as SC has for the most part here in the second half. So that's going to open up some of those slant opportunities with the RPO game. Expect to get more isolations outside and then to get it to their talented wide receivers.
Nalapei breaks a tackle, and then a vicious takedown at the 48-yard line by Gawolaku. Nalapei shaken up. You can understand why.
I tell you, Greg, it makes you wonder, though, are we on the verge of them taking a shot? You know, Amon-Ra St. Brown, number 8, who's playing in the slot. You know, are we going to see a shot at some point? Because I don't think they've threatened BYU downfield very much today, and they haven't had to because of the run game.
No, they haven't. I would expect a run play here, but
Slovis will throw. Instead, it is caught but short of the line to gain. It's Michael Pittman Jr. making the catch. So 3rd down, they're in BYU territory with about 2 yards to go.
There's another one of those RPOs. I mean, run play with a little tag, quick out. You got to think they're going to try to go with another little quick out off the run fake again, because those RPOs are starting to give a little for him.
Slovis pass to the sideline. Vaughns, with a lot of cushion given by Gallo, gets the first down.
Well, that's a long throw.
Really long throw. And Tom, to your point, this right here, fresh set of downs, plus 41-yard line. This would be the spot where I'd think about maybe taking the top off the defense. SC has rocked them to sleep with the run game and the quick RPO game. This might be a spot where I go heavy play action and try to hit one of my speedsters down the field.
They do have some weapons on the perimeter. See if they use them here. Instead, a handoff to Carr, and an excellent play at the line of scrimmage. Bawatea was there for BYU, no gain.
Well, Graham Harrell, the offensive coordinator at SC, he's got to be somewhat frustrated because he wants to throw it, and it's going against his nature to run it. But what BYU's doing on defense, how do you not run it? There's 5 in the box right now. Look at 3 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers. Yeah, now the 1 linebacker's walked out.
Yeah, it's definitely a run look with how this offense is usually called.
Here's Carr. He gets swarmed, though, as BYU flies to the football. Kafika Fanua continues to play well. Tuioti Mariner was in there as well for BYU, so SC's got 3rd down and 7 here early in the 4th.
Possible 4-down territory, too. You would think, with what we've seen through the first couple games from USC, they're likely going to work an isolation route, so I might look in the direction of Michael Pittman, their big wide receiver here on the left-hand side.
Slovis looking as a completion, but Pittman is short. Tackled by Gowolaku. It is 4th down and a yard. And let's see what SC decides here. They're going to bring on the field goal team. Chase McGrath's career long is 51 yards. He is 3 for 3 this season, but his longest attempt was 38 through 3 games. This will be a 50-yard try. Timeout taken by BYU because they used a timeout on the challenge earlier. They are down to 1.
NFL Prime Time is back on Sunday nights, airing exclusively on ESPN Plus at 7:30 p.m. Eastern all season long.
You gotta love Boomer and TJ. So glad they're back. How about some of Boomer's best nicknames? Andre Badman Rising. It's about as good as it gets. Mike, you're in good hands with Allstott. Pretty solid as well. But here, a critical 4th and 1 for USC, who's opting to put their offense on the field and go for it.
Marquis Stepp is the running back. And Stepp gets the call and gets the first down. That was a good list, by the way, that you had there. I got a couple that weren't on that list. How about Matt Whitecastle?
I like that one. That's a good one.
And here's my favorite. Jason, you can't always get what Avant. That's the Rolling Stones, Greg. I know it's a little before your time. Here's a ball to the end zone for Pittman. Oh, he caught it! Pittman caught it with Gowolaku all over him. And let's see what they're ruling here. A penalty marker is thrown. I think the receiver went out of bounds and came back in on his own, was pushed out, or wasn't pushed out, rather, came back in on his own. And that's why the field judge took his hat off and why they didn't call it a touchdown. If you're forced out, you can come back in and be the first guy to touch it. But if you go out on your own, which perhaps Pittman did, it's an incompletion.
Did he reestablish himself inbounds, too, as he was bringing that football into his chest? It's really close.
Michael Pittman, whose father played over a decade in the National Football League as a running back. Pittman Jr., 6'4", 220-pound wide receiver. Got a touchdown catch already in this game. Long discussion from the officials. So there he's out of bounds.
You see the foot, the right foot on the white line. He reestablished himself in bounds before bringing in the touchdown catch.
But he went out on his own, it looked like.
A lot to unfold here. I mean, I look at this, I think it's illegal touching. I mean, did he come back in or reestablish himself and then catch the ball? I mean, it looks to me.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
So they did not signal a touchdown, but they are ruling it a touchdown, and now they're going to review it.
Yeah, that's the right way to do it. Obviously, every play is reviewed, but call it a touchdown and then figure out a way to overrule it. You see that right foot out of bounds. Gowolaku definitely rode him out of bounds, so he was clearly pushed. It's okay if he's pushed out. It's just, did he get back in bounds in time to catch the football?
My point, Greg, was I don't know that he was pushed out. I mean, is he going out on his own here? Is Gowolaku pushing him? I guess you could make the case because they're hand fighting that Gowolaku helped him to the sideline, which means then as long as he catches it in bounds and lands in bounds, it's a touchdown. Now, if he goes out on his own, he cannot then come in and be the first guy to touch it.
Yeah, and under those circumstances, it looks to me like he's getting forced out. I mean, it looks like the defender is walling him with his left arm, Gowolaku, and he brings it down completely in bounds. Obviously, that left leg is down, the left knee is down.
I think it's a touchdown. If they're saying that Gowolaku did enough to force him to the sideline, and that's the reason he went out of bounds. But but there was no signal. In fact, I think the signal was that it was incomplete from one official, but you had another official that has hat off because the receiver
was forced out of bounds, reestablished himself inbounds prior to catching the football. By rule, that's a touchdown.
And that was the biggest thing. He had to reestablish himself inbounds. That was the key, and that's what I think they were looking at. It was clear to me that he got forced out. It was clear to me that he was out of bounds, but did he reestablish himself inbounds before catching the touchdown pass? There he's out. Right there he's reestablished. Right. There he catches it.
You see the left foot down there to reestablish before the ball arrives.
Correct. Difficult sequence for the officials. Good job getting it correct.
Extra point is good, and USC is back in front with 10:45 to go in Provo. Second touchdown catch for Pittman today.
College football on ABC is brought to you by Pacific Life. 150 years strong. Protection and retirement solutions for your future.
Take a look at this week's AP rankings brought to you by PlayStation. USC checking in at number 24. Clemson-Syracuse on ABC tonight. Georgia no problem with Arkansas State. Alabama with a comfortable lead. Oklahoma trying to get UCLA to 0-3. Ohio State rolled today. So did Notre Dame. Florida-Kentucky on ESPN tonight. Slovis was brilliant on that last drive. 6 of 6 passing and the touchdown to Pittman to give USC the lead back. It was 17-10 BYU early in the second quarter. The Cougars have not scored since, so see how Zach Wilson does on this next possession when he needs something to happen. This will be a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. Tonight, after Texas Tech, Arizona on ESPN, SportsCenter with Stan and Neil. They'll have the latest on Antonio Brown's status for tomorrow's Pats-Dolphins game. Plus, which ranked college football teams are upset today, if any. Boxing as well coming up. SportsCenter after college football on ESPN and the ESPN app.
The last time we had a weekend where no ranked teams played each other was week 7 of 2017. And what happened? He had 7 ranked teams lose to unranked teams. One of those being Clemson to Syracuse. So could have some chaos today in college football.
Tyson Williams leaps over his own guy and is out to the 31. Been really impressed watching him the last 2 games. Started his career at North Carolina, then to South Carolina, now all the way out west to Provo. Had a nice game again today, like he did against Tennessee.
He runs hard, man. That's what you really watch and you appreciate more than anything. He never gives up on runs, always drives those legs and fights for extra yardage.
Wilson will throw here, and a pass that's caught by Hefo gets rid of one man, and Hefo is out near midfield.
Oliver Hefo has really been kind of quiet the last couple games. I mean, he is such a good slot receiver. And when you look at this BYU offense, talking to their offensive coordinator, Jeff Grimes, to me, they remind me a little bit of who they want to be. They want to be the New England Patriots of 2018 with Gronk at tight end and slot receiver. More on that after the break.
Our Pacific Life game summary. An entertaining first half, but offensively, we have not had much since early on in the second quarter, but Slovis with a terrific last possession, hitting Pittman for a touchdown to give USC the lead 24-17. Zach Wilson has protected the ball much better than he had in the previous 2 games, and he's ignited something on this possession. They're near midfield with a fresh set of downs. Emmanuel Asupa is in the game at tailback. That is Simon in motion. Wilson to the air. He's going to check it down to Simon out in space, and he's into SC territory, still going past the 30. Great balance before he finally falls out of bounds inside the 25.
Trying to get a shot play off the timeout. Nothing there downfield. Very wise of Zach Wilson to just check it down, get it to Simon. He's really playing good football these last couple weeks. Good job getting upfield for the big play.
They get 30 yards there. Here's a quick pitch to Asupa around the end. And a beautiful jump cut there by Asupa, the senior from Prairie View, Texas, who's carried it more today than he had in the previous 2 games combined. Second and short.
And in this part of the field, you have to think that BYU is likely just going to keep it on the ground. SC a little worn out defensively. The way BYU's running it. think they keep doing it.
Asupa again. He gets pinned by Caleb Tremblay at the 15. Third down coming up.
I like the situation here on the left hash with a right-handed quarterback that's very athletic. I like the idea of getting Zach Wilson out on the perimeter, move him to his right, give him a run-pass option. So if nothing's there in the passing game, he can use his legs and pick it up himself.
Third down and 3. Williams going to get hit for a loss by John Houston. So it's 4th down and 3, and BYU says there's 8:46, a lot of time left. Let's go for 3 rather than go for it on 4th down. You like that decision?
I do, especially when it's 2+ yards. I mean, this is a tough down and distance to convert. So you're down here, you put together a nice drive, a nice response. You want to make sure you leave the field offensively with some points. So I completely agree with what Kalani Sitake decided to do by running his field goal unit on.
32-yard try for Oldroyd. And he splits the uprights. Plenty of time left. BYU with its first points of the second half.
Cassidy Hubbard with today's All-State Mayhem moment. Number 19 Iowa and Iowa State Cyclones with a trick play. Brock Purdy tosses it to Deshaunte Jones, who lets one fly to Michael Pettaway. Iowa State up 7-3, but the weather has caused some mayhem. Now in their second delay, Dave.
All right, Cassidy, what a scene it was with game day in Ames for the first time. We were there this time last year for Oklahoma. Great college football fans in Ames.
Oh, it's awesome, man. It is awesome. The Trice gets rocking, that's for sure. And you know, for the Cy-Hawk Trophy today, it's going to be tough sledding for the Hawkeyes. That's turned into pretty impressive rivalry with what Kirk Ferentz has built over the years at Iowa, and obviously what Matt Campbell's done in a pretty short period of time there in Ames.
Here in Provo on an absolutely spectacular Saturday afternoon on the heels of the Wasatch Mountains here at the Val Edwards Stadium. Temperatures in the mid-80s at about 5,000 feet here in Provo. Velus Jones, very dangerous. Got a kickoff return for a touchdown. And electing to return this one. Breaks one tackle. If he would have gotten out of that ankle tackle, he might have had a lot of yards. Instead, down to the 26.
Now, USC has been very committed to running the football in the second half, which has opened up some of their RPO games. Here's Keaton Slovis hitting Pittman on the last drive, and then nice job on the curl route, hanging in there, getting through his progression. And they get in the plus territory on first down, take a shot downfield, give your big receiver a chance. And Michael Pittman makes him right. Excellent work by the freshman quarterback and Pittman on that last drive, really getting in sync when they become somewhat one-dimensional offensively.
There was a penalty. We did not hear what the penalty was, but it is on USC.
Personal foul, guys. The pushing and shoving. And what a killer penalty. Look at this field position for SC.
Falanico, we're told, is the guilty man for USC. So they are backed up now to their 13-yard line. Slovis hands it off, and Carr is going nowhere. Got maybe a yard. Tooley been all over the place today. BYU has played a lot of this game without one of their best defensive players, Zane Anderson, and they have hung in there.
And Tooley's been excellent. He's been the defender for BYU, but they're asking to play both the pass and the run. It's been a lot on number 31's shoulders today, but he's responded beautifully. Made a bunch of plays for the Cougar defense.
Slovis to throw on second down and 9. Three-man rush for BYU, so he just dumps it off to Carr. And Carr is brought down after a gain of 2 or 3. A penalty marker in the backfield. Thrown at the feet of the right tackle,
number
Drew
62.
Richmond.
Offense. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
They're going to get the center, Fred Nealon, who's holding. You're going to watch as Fauatea swims. Nealon just never held on, never let go of him. It's a good job by the official, and a really tough spot here for USC on second and long, backed up with the student section just behind it.
Again, first road start for Slovis. He's never seen an environment like this. The true freshman giving it to Stepp to try to give him some breathing room, and he fumbled the ball at the 14-yard line. USC has already turned it over twice inside its 30-yard line. No signal yet from the officials. And it looks like USC got it back. Yep, third down as Stepp recovered his own cough up.
And you see big number 91, Tuioti Mariner, getting a big arm on that football, jarring it loose. If I'm quarterback, Keaton Slovis, I got to be really smart with the football. And if I'm the offensive coordinator, I might get conservative. Run the football, live to play another down. Don't try to get too adventurous, knowing that you've turned the ball over in this part of the field already today.
USC is going to call a timeout and talk about what they want to do here on 3rd down and 9. Leading by 4. Kick off your week 2 with Sunday NFL Countdown. Randy Moss sits down with former LSU teammates Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. He'll also rank, Randy Moss will, this week's best college football catches, and you got Moss. There might be a couple from this game. Plus, 2 of the best to ever do it. Peyton Manning and J.J. Watt go one-on-one. That's tomorrow, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPN.
I hope they're not talking about one-on-one pass rush. I'm not sure that would end real well for Peyton. An important 3rd down here for USC coming off the timeout. If I'm Graham Harrell, I got to be conservative. I can't take a chance deep in my own end. Might just look to hand the football off. Maybe a receiver breaks one.
Slovis will throw, and the pass is on target, but out of bounds was Pittman. Incomplete. 4th down.
Just a little speed out. Really close. See the ball secured. Were his feet on the ground or was he aerial the whole way? Really tough to tell from that point.
I think he was out of bounds.
All the bodies, but it certainly looks as though he was out of bounds.
Previous play was under further review.
Does that toe get down?
Yeah, the left foot there, because the right foot clearly landed out of bounds. Did the left foot touch before the ball arrived or when it arrived and he had secured it?
And right there is where it's so close. I mean, is that foot on the ground? Man, it's close. It's a great effort. Fancy footwork on the sideline. Does that left toe ever scrape the grass?
That's tough for that line judge. He was standing right in front of me. He had to make the call with the BYU player on the ground in front of the feet.
And again, Lugs, you got to have indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn it. The ruling in the field was incomplete. I think it's, man, nearly impossible to tell if that left foot actually
right
touches.
There, it looks. I mean, the ball is the ball moving. When does the ball get secured? That's the first thing you have to look at. So as it goes through, is the ball secured there? It looks to me like that left toe, it just barely scrapes the top of the grass. Like you said, it has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn beyond all doubt. But really, that last angle, it looks like that toe does, in fact, catch a little grass as he's going out of bounds. Just a matter of when the ball is completely secured.
And boy, guys, look at the down and distance. Look at the field position. Now, this is maybe a game-changing review here if you're USC.
Sure, enormous.
Because if the ruling in the field stands, you're punting from around your goal line.
Yep.
It is so close. What? I mean, it looks. I mean, it looked like that toe. It just barely scraped the surface, but. It's really close either way. Usually the longer these reviews take, the more likely it is to potentially be overturned as well.
One of the other indicators when you start seeing the official start to write something down, but we don't see that. They're still looking, we're told, so they have not made a decision yet.
There's the real speed look. Beautiful throw and nice coverage too. Agaholiku defensively. Man, right there.
Does he have it there? It's so hard to tell.
I mean, it's so hard to tell. It's a coin toss, and catch no catch is really a hot button topic in the college football world right now. To me, that looks like a catch. It looks like that toe's down. It looks like it drags. I think he has the ball secured.
I'm
to
leaning,
somebody else, it might be totally different.
Greg, I'm leaning towards what you just said, but I don't know that you can overturn that with a replay.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's really hard.
Here we go. Here's Scott
After
Campbell.
review, the ruling on the field stands. 4th down.
Not enough video evidence to say, yep, the call on the field was wrong. We're overturning that. So SC will punt from its goal line. Now they have a redshirt freshman punter. So this is his first go around, but he is 27 years old. He'll be 28 on Tuesday. Played 8 years of Australian rules football. He's had a good day today. He's got a very strong leg, but he's kicking right in front of that BYU student section. Hefo is under it, and the fair catch made around the 47-yard line. Later tonight on ABC, a 7:30 Eastern kick from the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York. The Orange hoping to knock off top-ranked Clemson. 2 years ago, Syracuse pulled off the upset when Clemson was ranked number 2. That's also the last time the Tigers lost in the regular season. Syracuse, though, got trounced by Maryland last week. Here, with 6:38 to go, they've passed Greg McElroy and Tom Luginbill. BYU down 4, but they've got possession near midfield. Zach Wilson has completed his last 8 passes. He'll throw it here on first down. Pressure up the middle. Wilson gets away from trouble. Oh, wide open receiver. It's caught inside the 20 by Romney. That was Manziel-like. 35 yards.
That was Johnny football all day long. And how about Romney? That ball sat up in the air forever. Good job tracking it, bringing it down.
They pitch it to Asupa here on the run. Upended at the line of scrimmage.
Wilson, I mean, he just has unbelievable instincts. I mean, there's a good pass rush from SC. He just is able to escape it, move around, get vertical north and south, threaten the line of scrimmage, and find a wide receiver that gets lost in the secondary on the scramble drill. It's a big play by Zach Wilson, who is playing extremely well here late in this ballgame.
Out of an empty set here. It's a design quarterback run for Wilson. Straight ahead. First down and touchdown. BYU has the lead again. There is something about this kid, Zach Wilson. We saw it last week against Tennessee. BYU fans saw it as a true freshman all last year. The penalty flag soars in before the extra point.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
"19-year-old true sophomore." He saw his parents Michael and Lisa celebrating that first shot we showed you after Wilson took it on the quarterback draw, dialed up by offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes. So they move it 5 yards back on the penalty, but Oldroyd still nails it, and the Cougars lead by 3.
Man coverage from the SC Trojans. Look at the eyes of these defenders. You're going to see those guys looking in the backfield, and there's only 5 guys up front and nobody home in the middle of the defense for Zach Wilson, who takes the quarterback draw to pay dirt. Really great play against man coverage. When you have man coverage, those defenders' eyes, they're on the receivers that they're covering. Therefore, they're not sure what's going on in the backfield. They have 5 for 5 up front, hat on a hat, and a lot of space for their quarterback to work as his parents look on. and celebrate with the rest of the Cougar faithful. Unbelievable performance down the stretch from Zach Wilson and this Cougar offense.
Grew up a Utah fan. He's from Draper, which is about 20 miles south of Salt Lake City. He ends up instead at BYU, plays as a true freshman a year ago, and just look at him in crunch time the last 2 games, in the fourth quarter and overtime, including the 16, a touchdown pass last week in OT, a touchdown run here. Michael and Lisa made the trip to Knoxville for that game a week ago. And I think we're going to be talking a lot about Zach Wilson for the next couple years, as well as the quarterback for USC, Keaton Slovis, who you see there, and we'll see momentarily to find out what he can do in his first road test as an 18-year-old. Here's Jones from the 2. He can get outside. He's got great speed. Instead, he runs into a wall at the 22-yard line and shoved out of bounds. Austin Lee made the hit. Let's go to the studio and check in with Cassidy.
Thanks, Dave. Number 18, Michigan State, trailing Arizona State, that is, until Elijah Collins goes 9 yards for a touchdown. Sparty on the board for the first time, up 7-3 with 8 to play in the fourth quarter. Dave, Greg?
All right, Cassidy, low-scoring game there in East Lansing. A lot of fireworks early on, but neither team reignited until the fourth quarter. Keaton Slovis, who became the starter when JT Daniels tore his ACL in the opener late in the first half against Fresno State. The 18-year-old played at Desert Mountain High School, where Hall of Fame Burt Warner was his offensive coordinator. And they're going to let Slovis throw it here, and it's a strike for a first down to Tyler Vaughns. Out to the 36-yard line, a pickup of 14.
I like the idea early. They've been running it on first and second down with some efficiency. Fake the run play inside. Hit that in-breaking route for a nice gain to get the drive started.
Going to run it here. Malapai able to get to the 39. Think about it. Slovis, has the 2 picks and almost a third, but he's got 12 incompletions in 2 games. And given the fact that he was thrust into the starting lineup when he was in high school, he didn't play the first 2 years. He didn't have a great record there. A lot of teams caught on to him late. Ended up at USC. Beat out a couple of guys for the backup job, but it's his team now. They keep it on the ground with Malapai. Bring up third down as he's short by a couple.
I tell you what, he responded, Greg. You're on the road. You got bad field position. It's loud, and he didn't go in the tank.
He's got ice water in his veins, that's for sure. Responded beautifully in adverse circumstances, but on third and short, I think they probably lean towards the run game here with how they're running it.
Yep, Malapai drilled in the backfield and taken down. Kairos Tonga and Kavika Fanua were both in the backfield on the snap.
Man, it's unbelievable. This has been a matchup that has been dominated so far by BYU. I mean, Tonga, he's led block on touchdowns. He's made tackles in the backfield. He's been unblockable. They're in the middle of that defense.
SC going for it on fourth down. What do you think here?
I would run it, but I would try to get it on the perimeter as opposed to running right at big number 95.
They have Marquis Step in, and he gets the carry and the first down. Step is their power back. He's 235 pounds. Only had 3 carries coming into today. Played 4 games last year, but then they took advantage of that redshirt rule. So he's technically a freshman. He gets the first down.
Yeah, and that's the way they're going to have to run it. If you run it right to the middle of the defense, it's going to be really tough. You have to start the stretch wide and allow your running back to adjust to the flow defensively.
Slovis had a little trouble with a snap. Boy, Vaughn's wide open. Gets rid of one defender and then finally knocked down by Heron. And he'll be a yard short of the line to gain, but they're at the 42 now of BYU. Chase McGrath's career long is 51, the kicker for SC, so that would tell you got to get to about the 35 to have a shot. Nearing 3 minutes to go. Step running left, upended, but he flies past the line to gain to get the first down. There is the sophomore kicker from Newport Beach who injured his knee in the 3rd game last year. After 2 years ago, he was the hero against Texas, kicked the game winner. Got hurt last year. Will he get a shot to tie this thing up? Will USC need Chase McGrath? A lot of time on the clock. And a fresh set of downs inside the 40 of BYU. Another run play. Step is mauled. No gain. Gawoliku there first.
Yeah, BYU is just daring USC to run the football. With how they're aligned, they only have 5 defensive players between the tackles, which in this offense is all about numbers. That would lead USC to hand the football off. They're just rallying and winning on the perimeter. These receivers for SC haven't done a great job blocking all day today.
Carr is in the backfield now. Nearing 2 minutes to play. Slovis with a long throw. Overshoots Vaughns. They tried to go with Dimitri Gallo again, who's got turned around a couple times, but the pass was errant, 3rd and 10.
And one of the few inaccurates we've seen on the short game from Keaton Slovis today. 2 downs to get it, obviously, in this spot of the field.
Well, Greg, do you think about a run at all to try to give your kicker a better chance?
It depends on the numbers defensively. If you like the numbers defensively, and you feel like you have a chance at it, I have no problem running the football. And the numbers look pretty good for the Trojans if they want to keep it on the ground here with their tailback.
2 D linemen and 2 linebackers. Play clock winding down. Flag down. BYU may have been offside. Carr cuts it back. He's short of the line to gain. 4th down. But let's see what the flag's about. Looked like Devin Kafusi was offside. He was ejected last week for targeting. Didn't play in the first half of today's game.
Offside, number 90, defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
Now it's 3rd and 5 instead of 3rd and 10. Instead of 4th and 2.
Yeah, and you see right here, he just jumps into the neutral zone. There's a lot of space there, so not surprised to see SC hand it. Ride the left side of that offensive line. Now, this is going to be a little tougher spot for BYU defensively. SC has proven to be willing to hand it off even on 3rd and long. Got to think BYU's have to force the ball out of Slovis' hands through the air and not allow him to pick it up on the ground by being short on numbers within the box defensively.
Would be about a 52-yard field goal try from here. 3rd and 5.
Basically 4.5 players in the box.
Yeah, you have an isolation possibility down here to Michael Pittman at the bottom of your screen. If number 31, Max Tooley, gets close to the left tackle, you could potentially throw that one-on-one outside.
Slovis will throw here on 3rd and 5, going over the middle, broken up, tipped a couple times, and then incomplete. Almost intercepted. Chaz Ayu couldn't come down with what might have sealed a win for BYU.
It was a good throw by Slovis. It looked like Gawoliku was there just a little bit early. You see that right hand hit the arm of Pittman. Now they'll bring out McGrath for what was a nice pass breakup defensively by BYU.
51-yard field goal 2 years ago against Arizona State. This is a 52-yard attempt to tie the game with 1:48 to go. And McGrath buries it to tie the game, 27-all. A career-long 52-yarder for the young man that missed almost all of last year due to injury.
Perfect snap, perfect hold, laces out, right down the middle. Ice water in your veins.
He hammered that thing, right?
He killed it. That would have been good from 63.
Yeah.
See the reaction from the 2 head coaches. 1:43 remaining. BYU's offense will come back on the field with a timeout left. SC has 2 remaining. Remember, BYU just played an overtime game a week ago. 1 in double overtime in Knoxville. We'll see how BYU chooses to, depending on where field position is, what kind of play calling we see. USC can stop the clock twice with timeouts.
Well, more importantly, Dave, Greg, how SC decides to defend BYU, given what Zach Wilson has done on the last 2 series with his legs.
Yeah, he's shown the type of dual threat he can be, which Makes things interesting for Clancy Pendergast here in crunch time and what he's going to dial up. Michael Brown kicking it deep. Cateau and Algier are downfield. And they're going to let this one go. It will come out to the 25.
Zach Wilson has some special instincts, man. Look at him just run around in the pocket. Extraordinary quickness, get vertical, threaten the line of scrimmage. Keep his eyes downfield and hit Romney. Who does that remind you of? Oh, yeah. Johnny Football. How about Johnny getting vertical, keeping his eyes downfield, throwing a dime. The Heisman Trophy winner. It's high praise to be compared to a Heisman Trophy winner. And Jeremy Pruitt, the head coach of Tennessee, he said Zach Wilson, he reminds him a little bit of Johnny Manziel. With how he can create, run around, short area quickness. Very instinctive player, and man, in the second half, he has been lights out for this BYU offense.
Play clock at 0, so they get the play off. It's a pitch to Tyson Williams, and he's got a ton of room into USC territory. A late flag just flew in back around the 35-yard line, which could negate a huge run for Tyson Williams. He was already way downfield, it appeared. At least when the flag was thrown, a 35-yard pickup, but it's coming back. How does that happen if you're USC? Just a simple run play. It was already a big run before the hold took place.
Personal foul. Blocking below the waist. Number 15. Offense. 15-yard penalty. Still first down.
A 15-yarder instead of the 10.
And you're going to see Hefo go low right there, and that's a penalty. It's a good call by the official. Man, unfortunate circumstances for BYU, who had a great play. Hefo didn't have to do that either. He could have just engaged and held on, and I think Williams would have been unimpeded as he gained some momentum moving forward.
Now you're operating from inside your 20. Wilson's going to throw it to the sideline to get back near the original line of scrimmage. Shumway with the catch. The reason that was called an illegal block is because it took place more than 5 yards downfield. Right. Clock is at 1:28. One timeout left for BYU. Second down and about 10. Lupini Cateau is in the game. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. Might be why he's in there. And right on cue makes the catch, but went to the ground. Oh, he's just trying to get out of bounds or what, but maybe slipped. Down at the 30-yard line, third down coming up.
Ball was a little low. Toa tried to go down there and grab it. Wasn't able to maintain his balance. He is the third down back, and he's an option in the passing game, that's for sure. You're a critical third down, too, because you're in danger of potentially getting it back to SC with multiple timeouts with decent field position. So you got to look in the direction of Hefo. Hefo's been playing well this drive. Let's see if they look his way.
Wilson in trouble, and he's got 3 Trojans tracking him. Wilson pointing downfield. He's going to run, and he gets hit. He's awfully close to the first down at the 34-yard line. He was back around his 5 with 3 USC players chasing him. And they're going to spot him short. It is fourth down. And I'm surprised USC's not calling a timeout here now. The clock stops at 51 seconds left, and they will use a timeout as Zach Wilson a little dinged.
It's pretty amazing here by Wilson. Just trying to create. You see Tufele breathing fire as he won up front. Man, I'm telling you, I mean, the more you watch Zach Wilson, the more you really see why people have started to make that comparison with how he creates on his own. Took a big hit. Great effort, though, getting really close to the line to gain.
And it almost looked like that ball came out just a hair when John Houston reached his hand in there. And I wonder if that didn't happen, if Wilson's able to stretch the ball out and get the first down.
You know, with all these comparisons with Johnny Manziel, what we failed to mention is how much bigger Zach Wilson is. He's a big, long kid. A big athlete makes him even more dangerous.
He's really sudden. He's listed at 6'3", and he's every bit of it.
Yeah.
Got a punt here, right? Fourth down and 1, tie game.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Especially knowing that SC's kicker just drained a 50-plus yarder to tie the game, so you have to play the field position game for sure. If I'm SC, I try to get a good return, which they've been able to do a couple times throughout the course of the first couple games.
Tyler Vaughns is deep. Oldroyd to boot it away. Right at Vaughns. He signals for the fair catch. So the clock is at 46 seconds. USC has a timeout. And as you just pointed out, we just saw a 52-yarder by McGrath. It would have been good from another 5 or 10 yards. So need to get to around the 35 or 40-yard line, which means the true freshman quarterback Keaton Slovis is going to have the best drive of his young career. He's looked so good for an 18-year-old thrust into a difficult situation, replacing a quarterback in JT Daniels who started all last year. Now, yes, they went 5-7, but Daniels was clearly the guy. Slovis, they weren't sure if he was going to be even the number 3 quarterback, but he climbed the depth chart to be the backup, and now it's his ball club with a chance to lead the Trojans down the field and get a win.
Biggest thing for the quarterback, just get the drive started. Have to have positive yardage on first down.
Slovis has time, and he's going to take a shot going for Pittman, and a flag comes down. The defender fell down and made contact with Pittman. Gowolaku got tangled up with the receiver downfield.
Really surprised to see Gowolaku that tight
Pass
to the line
interference,
scrimmage.
number 6. Offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
They called that on Pittman. Did you see a push off by Pittman, or?
And I thought there was contact on both sides, but I thought for sure in this scenario, I can see it with that right arm.
Yeah.
That right arm kind of throwing Gowolaku down.
I almost feel like that's a no call though, Greg. You got both guys hand fighting.
I'm with you. I would have kept the flag in my pocket there, especially knowing the critical time in the game in which it was called. So now it changes your approach offensively. I don't want to get too aggressive backed up.
Almost like you play for overtime now, back inside your 10. Malapaya, they'll bust a good run. Still going. And brought down at the 25. The clock will stop as they reset the chains, but check that. He didn't get the first down. So the clock is moving. USC has a timeout. 20 seconds and counting.
If I'm SC, I mean, they could snap it potentially. BYU's not a line.
But they're just going to run Malapaya, and he's tackled back at the 19-yard line. BYU call a timeout here? Yeah. Make USC snap it one more time. Never know. You assume the Trojans are going to run the ball, but maybe with the true freshman quarterback, you might have a botched exchange. Who knows what happens?
Yeah, we saw one bad snap earlier that was a little off target. Keaton Slovis was able to corral it, but yeah, force him to snap it one more time, and who knows, maybe something happens for you.
I know, Greg, that coming into this game, even though BYU beat Tennessee last week, USC was the talk of the Pac-12, and a lot of people are talking about the Trojans nationally, but it's so impressed with BYU in this game and their resolve.
They're so sound and they're tough. And I tell you what, this team is made up of tremendous competitors. I mean, last week was a perfect example. Down on the road at Tennessee, 17 seconds left, clock running, chances looking really slim that they were going to be able to do anything, let alone win the game. They hit a big play, and next thing you know, the momentum flips. They pull off the stunner there in Knoxville. This BYU team is really, really tough. They've done a nice job with the coaching staff as well.
Malapaya just trying to hold on to the ball here on third down. BYU's out of timeouts, and we are going to overtime. 27 apiece. More to come from Provo.
Hubbard there, and coming up at 8:30 Eastern on ABC, Trevor Lawrence and number 1 Clemson in the Carrier Dome to take on the last team to beat them in the regular season 2 years ago. It's Clemson, Syracuse on the way here next on ABC.
And Cassidy, we are getting set for overtime here in Provo. Knotted at 27. Captains take to midfield. Scott Campbell, our referee.
Gentlemen, great game. Welcome to overtime. Shake hands. Overtime rules. The winner of the coin toss can choose offense, defense, which end of the field we're going to play on. The loser of the toss gets the remaining choice. You get 1 timeout per overtime period. They do not carry over. Starting with the 3rd overtime period, if we get that far, we got to go for 2 points from the 3-yard line. If we make it to the 5th one, it's 1 play from the 3-yard line. Any questions? USC, visitors, same coin, heads, tails, heads, tails. What's your call?
Tails.
Tails is the call.
Calls tails.
It is tails. You won the toss. You want to start off on defense.
USC wants to know what it's faced with offensively, and that's why they deferred. As we mentioned, BYU was in this situation just a week ago on the road. They were down 3 with about 10 seconds left, and somehow Micah Simon gets behind the defense, setting up the game-tying field goal by Jake Oldroyd with a second left. And then in the second OT, Tyson Williams into the end zone as the Cougars knock off the Vols. Today, highly entertaining 4th quarter. Some controversy as well. Did Pittman go out on his own? Was he pushed out? Did he reestablish? It's a touchdown. And then how about this? Zach Wilson, a touchdown run for BYU. Their first point since the 2nd quarter. They were up by 3 until a 52-yarder that would have been good for maybe 62 by Chase McGrath sends us to overtime. Each team, as you know, gets 1 possession from the opponent's 25-yard line. Once we get to the 3rd overtime, if we're in the 3rd overtime, you got to go for 2. And the new rule is the alternating 2-point plays we get to the 5th overtime. Here's the records in OT for both teams. SC's last win was 2 years ago against Texas. In that game, Chase McGrath hit the game winner. BYU's ball first, and they fake the reverse. This play worked in the first half, but not here as John Houston chases down Tyson Williams.
They ran the exact same play in overtime, but they threw the reverse last week. So they're pulling out all the stops. And a nice job by Houston, not being tricked by the reverse potential, chasing it down for a short gain.
3rd tackle near the line of scrimmage for Houston. Smith takes off and is sacked. Drake, Jackson, Marlon, Tuipulotu on the takedown. It is 3rd and long.
And there haven't been a ton of 3rd and long so far for Zach Wilson throughout this game. They really haven't utilized their stars offensively. Their 2 best players offensively are Oliver Hefo, their slot receiver, and Matt Bushman, their tight end. If they get a heavy dose of man coverage here, which is what USC has done primarily in 3rd down and obvious passing situations, those would be the 2 guys I'd try to identify in the pass game.
That's Hefo in motion. Back to pass goes Wilson, and he's going to the end zone. Knocked away by Taylor Stewart. Intended for Micah Simon. 4th down.
It's a really nice play by Taylor Stewart. Late hands, good tight coverage. Try to hit that jet sweep play with the isolation on the outside. The coverage wouldn't allow it. Excellent job by USC's defense forcing the 3 and out.
Jake Oldroyd missed a 44-yarder earlier today. This is a 43-yard try to get BYU some points here in overtime. And it's good. The Cougars lead it 30-27. USC needs a field goal to tie, a touchdown to win. If they're stopped, BYU takes the victory.
Yeah, great job by Oldroyd. Connecting beautifully and drawing it in there inside the upright because the snap was low. It's a good job corralling it by Livingston, the holder. A beautiful kick by Oldroyd, South Lake Carroll Dragon.
BYU has the lead for now. But SC gets an opportunity from the BYU 25.
2 tight ends on the field for SC. That's usually a pretty good run tell for them.
Malapay running left, and he is brought down in the backfield. Ayu was on the ground, and he still made the hit. He was also shaken up on the play and heads to the BYU sideline.
USC gets in that 2 tight end look. It is primarily try to create some numbers in the run game. Still in two tight end situation. Knowing they were stopped short that last time, maybe you go with a play action or an RPO off a similar look.
Second down and 11.
Down to the left.
Now Lepai able to break that initial tackle, but then got tripped up at the 21. Little extracurricular activity, but that subsides. So you're looking at 3rd down and 6 now for USC.
In this type of situation, obvious passing down. They've looked in the direction of Michael Pittman throughout most of the second half. They're trying to take you away from Pittman by walking number 31, Max Tooley, out over the top of him. But a slant right behind Tooley could be an accessible window for Keaton Slovis.
Got to hurry up. The play clock is down to 1. Clay Helton trying to call timeout. Did he get it? Yep, they're giving him the timeout.
Before the snap, timeout, USC. That's a lap for the series. 30 seconds in length.
And you got a true freshman quarterback, not used to being in that situation, right? Right. Especially in overtime. So the head coach, Clay Helton, sees it at the last second, runs down about 15 to 20 yards downfield to call timeout, getting the officials' attention.
And that's why it's important. Sure, winning the toss in overtime is huge, because going defense first is a clear advantage, but picking the end of the field that's difficult to communicate is something that BYU did. They want SC going into their student section and where their band is at. So it's really hard to communicate. That's a big reason why they chose the right side of the field to make it difficult on the freshman quarterback, making sure everything's lined up between him and his offensive line.
Third and 6 for USC. A field goal to tie, touchdown to win. Slovis going to throw, zips it, passes tip. If it's picked off, the game is over. It is intercepted. Gowoloku got it for the Cougars. In Provo as they flood the field here at Bell Edwards Stadium as they knock off USC in overtime on an interception by Brian Gowoloku on another tip pass thrown by Keaton Slovis. Chaz Ayu got a piece of that one.
Trying to force it into tight coverage. Gowoloku, does he secure it?
Yeah, they're going to have to empty this field here if they decide to look at this further. And again, hard to tell via replay. Ruling in the field is an interception. Do you see anything here that says the call in the field is wrong, we have to overturn it?
Trying to see, are his arms underneath the ball? It looks like they are. As he flies in, it looks as though he does corral it.
It's all about the ruling in the field again because he really can't see the ball.
Correct. Yeah, I think this call is going to stand. Deflected up in the air. Let's see him close on it. I mean, you see the ball hit the ground, but does it move?
Right. Does he still control it?
It can hit the ground. That's not the issue. It's whether or not he's controlling it as he goes to the ground.
Because there is no clear and obvious video evidence saying I can see the ball, it definitely hit the ground, and he definitely lost control. I don't see any way that replay can overturn the interception based on the looks we've shown you so far. indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt. Do we see it? I don't think so.
I don't either.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Interception.
You know it's a great game when the student section gets to run onto the field twice. Check in with Tom.
Well, Coach, while your crowd's going nuts here, describe the performance of your quarterback here this afternoon.
The whole team, man. This is a great game. Hats off to USC. They played a great game. It was awesome to share the field with them. I'm excited about the win. Happy for our fans and our team.
You told me coming out of the locker room at halftime that wasn't the air raid offense. If they're running it, you're happy.
Hey, I played in that offense, you know, so I'm glad that the fans and the team trust us and prepare for these guys. I'm excited we got the win. And you guys should come do next week's game, too.
Yeah, you need us 3 weeks in a row?
Please do it. Let's do it. Good luck. See you. Thank you.
They've got Washington next week. It's going to be on ESPN or ABC. We don't know who's calling it, but we obviously were there last week in Knoxville. As Kalani Sitake celebrates with his players and his outstanding BYU fan base. College football scoreboard is up next. The Cougars knock off USC in overtime, 30-27. And don't forget, Clemson and Syracuse coming up on ABC at the bottom of the hour. Zach Wilson, a name to watch for the rest of the regular season with the way he's played the last 2 weeks.
An amazing performance. So gutsy. So clutch. Zach Wilson's a special player, and man, has he proven it over the last couple weeks. Really, really incredible performance from him down the stretch.
Again with Keaton Slovis, the quarterback for USC, saw a lot of good, saw what you typically see from an 18-year-old true freshman playing on the road for the first time, made some mistakes, but he's obviously going to be really good for the Trojans this year and beyond. But this afternoon, it is about BYU. They lost at home to Utah. They went on the road and beat Tennessee. They take down the Trojans in overtime here today, and they get Washington next week. What an outstanding game on a picturesque day here in Provo. For Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville, our entire ABC crew, I'm Dave Pash. Don't forget, the #1 team in the country, Clemson, is coming up, taking on Syracuse on ABC next. 30-27, BYU wins in overtime. I'm Dave Pash. So long. Kevin Agandi, take it away.